Dear head, shut up. I can't listen no more. It's late, so shut up. It's one night too much. I can't listen no more. It's late, you are shut up. It's one night too much. I can't listen no more. You are the golden stone carved marble faces. I won't fall down that fucking rabbit hole. I'm barely standing on the ground. All the hits that you leave are too hard to believe at all. I won't fall down that fucking rabbit hole. With you again. With you again. This bed on fire. I can't sleep here no more. Too late and tired, dreaming down on the floor. I am a haunted house. I'm superstitious. I am a cardboard cutout, old and faded. I won't fall down that fucking rabbit hole. I'm barely standing on the ground. All the hits that you leave are too hard to believe at all. I won't fall down that fucking rabbit hole. With you again. With you again. With you again. With you again. I won't fall down that fucking rabbit hole. I'm barely standing on the ground. All the hits that you leave are too hard to believe at all. I won't fall down that fucking rabbit hole. I won't fall down that fucking rabbit hole.
How's it going, everybody? Alright, I wanted to get a couple things started here, so make sure we can see everything, make sure everything's working. Alright, so I did start off with some new music tonight. I'm using this new service, to me. I don't think they're a new service, but they're called Licked. If any creators out there want to look into it. They have a monthly creator like program where you get like all the free music type stuff, but the thing that's really cool is they offer actual like licensed stuff, so like Coldplay, Offspring, Deftones, Linkin Park, as well as, you know, other things, XXXTentacion, I'm probably saying that wrong, hey, I'm millennial, I don't say things correctly. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this. So the thing that's kind of cool with this service is, like, if I wanted to have a song, I could throw it in my cart, and then like this is what I looked at. You pay $8 for the license. There's a couple things about actually using the track, but it's actually legitimate as far as like you don't get copyright struck. So I'm not even monetized, so I'm not probably going to worry about it as much as maybe other people. But yeah, if you check out the video description, I just got to put the links in there, and then yeah, according to this service, it says that it catches it within 30 minutes, which would be absolutely nice. I actually read somewhere that it should catch it within 15, so I think that 30 minutes is a little over quoted. No sponsorship or anything with them, but there was a little coupon code I was able to use to get a couple bucks off. I bought like 3 songs. I don't know if we'll even go through all of them. But yeah, I bought the rights to be able to use freely 3 songs in the stream. I've got a new ending song, so you'll hear that. And if we end up using the Be Right Back screen, I now got a song on there. So, but yeah, I just thought it was a pretty cool service, and I don't know how many people know about it, and so yeah, I'm not sponsored or anything, but I just wanted to kind of show what they provide. And then they also have a full library of other free sounds and stuff like that, which is really cool if you're, especially if you're making videos. Let's go through that really quickly. This is kind of what it looks like. They got like a music toolkit. And they kind of broke it up into different sections. I've listened to some of their free content stuff. It's not bad at all. I looked at a couple other different media services, as well as using, for the longest time there, I was using something out of the content creator library. But I just wanted something a little bit nicer. So hopefully, yeah, you guys like the Blink 182 intro there. Anyway, from that, we're going to go back to my Twitter. And from the Twitter, oh, no, apparently I'm just going to go all over. Okay, so from the Twitter, I want to go over. Don't know how many people out there are familiar with Smokey McSee and Kiwi Tapes. They're the two individuals we're going to be going over today. And I would kind of categorize them in like the LOLCow Wrangler, Hunter kind of classification. We're going to start with looking at, so how did I find out about these guys? Well, our lovely boys over at Now Recording, they did an episode not too long ago called LOLCow Reaction. And mainly they were going over how this one individual creates poor content. And to kind of show a juxtaposition, big word of the day, they did a comparison between Smokey McSee's video on this subject and compared it to the content that you got out of not one, but two videos from this creator. Needless to say, Smokey's content blew this other creator out of the water, in my opinion. I'm not going to really show much other than maybe we'll go through the intro here.
Hello and welcome to Now Recording. Today we'll be reacting to a dumb bitch.
Well, we gotta bleep that.
Yeah.
Now recording.
You're not gonna introduce us? Like the hell? Like,
Yeah.
come on, man! Like, you're just leaving us out to dry. Like,
Well, I did the opener, and then Matt was supposed to be like, "Well, that's Beavers over there."
hey everybody,
welcome to
welcome to
Now
Now Recording. My name is D-Max. That's Beavers.
And I'm Matt Pitt. How's it going, guys? So
Well,
we've had so just to give context here, Beavers has gotten wrapped up.
Yeah, so this was actually something that was brought forward, an actual stream idea, whatever you want to call it, by Beavers. And I think he did a good job on this, as far as like, this is actually an interesting thing that he covered. Okay.
In a very interesting little feud with this female React content creator, or I guess she calls herself a commentator. What's her name? Her name is Cataclysm.
Cataclysm.
Cataclysm. I like that. I like that. Yeah. So you were kind of tweeting at her. You're not a fan of her videos, anything like that. And we wanted to do a stream on her, and you wanted to call it Katie Likes Predator, or something like that. Or Katie is a predator.
Yeah, I
That's-
wanted to
yeah,
call
that's
it
originally
Katie
what
is a
it was.
predator.
Yeah, but we did a hard optics check on that one and went,
Yeah.
probably not gonna.
See,
That's
Katie,
probably not
if
gonna
you're,
work.
if you're listening, Katie, we do like care about our content. Okay, we don't get
Yeah.
hate restrictions all the time. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Only sometimes.
Only
Only
our
most of the
streams.
time.
Our streams get restricted all the time.
Look, so I don't know much about this girl. You were watching. So how did you go down this rabbit hole? What's going on?
Okay.
I don't know why my keyboard, like, the shortcuts aren't working. Let's, so Beaver's going to kind of explain how he came across it, which I think this is, like, one of the funniest freaking ideas, like, how an idea could have come up for a topic.
So, I've said it on stream a few times, I've been really getting back into, you know, all the LOLCows, Cyrax, Chris Chan,
Same here, obviously. I've been trying to get more, like, to where I'm actually covering over to a couple different things. Hey, Viera, how are you? But yeah, I've been trying to get over, like, as drama comes up and as, like, different things come up, I've been trying to cover more, like, what the content is as far as, like, what's going on. And then hopefully maybe help people, like, get a bit of a history, because it's been, I mean, we're going on 2 decades of YouTube almost. We're getting closer. And I mean, even a decade and a half, you know, there's a lot of individuals that are out there. People have left, people have come back. And so with that, as new people have come onto the platform, and you get people that are interested as they, you know, age, you know, people change their tastes. And so you get people that are interested in, just different things, and I'm trying to help with as content comes up in the commentary sphere, maybe giving a little bit of background, maybe giving a little bit more attention to like what's good directions to look at good information, because you know what, not everybody knows that. So,
and this guy Jupiter that we're going to be reacting to today, he's this guy.
We're going to watch the Jupiter video actually too, because it is a fantastic video. I just don't want to like totally steal their stream and watch one creator's video on another creator's plural stream. So we'll at least go give Smokey his just dues.
On TikTok, I believe he's completely gone off the platform now, so his arc is complete. So
his arc is not complete.
So there's a lot of videos coming out about him, and because I've been watching all that LOLCow content, I watched this person called Smokey MC. Yeah, and a lot of his content revolves around this, and his most recent video was about this Jupiter person. So that was kind of in my feed already. And then I just opened YouTube, and I saw that there was this girl reacting to Jupiter, and I was like, oh, let me go see. This guy's a creep, you know?
So there you go. The Smokey, or Beavers watched Smokey's video, already got good background on it. So then when he went into this other creator's stream, he saw just how awful they covered it.
Know what I mean? Let me see another video. Maybe they've got more evidence, because I don't go on TikTok and shit like that, or Reddit, right?
Same here. I'm pretty much the same way. I'm not going on TikTok. I was on TikTok for a while. Actually, that's where my name comes from, if anybody wanted an origin story. I had no idea what to do for a platform or creator name, and literally probably came up with the laziest name.
And so yeah, and then I saw a video, and it's appalling. It is truly a piece of shit.
Okay, well there you go. Now you got Beaver's take. So now recording this episode. Please go listen to it. It actually really is a good episode. Not to say that their other stuff isn't, but I mean, when we get to talking about PDF lovers in heaven, I mean, that still is in my top of favorite things as far as now recording ever covering. And I don't think I've ever laughed so hard, aside from the reaction content that I got out of, or well, not really reaction content, the story content that I got out of Dead on Dave and Tommy C when I kind of started in the community. So let's get into our hunters here. So we have the lovely Smokey McSee. Smokey's channel is pretty in-depth, great source if you're wanting to find out information on various different LOLCows. He's been covering them for a minute, as you can see. This is not his first rodeo. He's had a couple iterations of different content, but I really enjoy the content that he puts out recently. Let's get all the way to the top. As you can see, I've watched a few different videos. Some of them are more recent than others. Like, I've known about King Cobra JFS probably for a while from watching Drunken Peasants and Ben and Billy the Fridge over there. But they also have some really good content as far as, like, covering different, like, more, like, highlights with a couple different LOLCows in particular. King Cobra is a real go-to for them. They also covered Jared Genesis, which I think he's an awful person, and probably something that Smokey and Kiwi ought to look into. I feel like they could really do some awesome work with that story. But Smokey, let's see, his top videos, the videos that I like the most, and probably the ones that really drew me in, he had some great information on Daniel Larson, a name that I've heard around a lot, but didn't know a whole lot of content on. Jupiter, which you also heard, Airsoft Fatty, Chris Chan, they don't cover Chris Chan like to the Gino level. Like if you know who Gino is kind of like almost like I think he actually coined the term Christorian. But yeah, I think that, yep, Tofia Chu. So it doesn't show here, but Smokey's video on Tofia Chu I think was one of the first like real instances for me looking at his content. They've covered Only Use Me Blade as well. As you can see, a lot of Chris Chan Cyrex. So we're gonna cover a lot of different LOLCows. So I don't know if anybody has just arrived to the internet and is not aware with what the definition for a LOLCow is. So LOLCow is basically short summary, taking apart the word, someone you milk for laughs. Okay. Typically, they're a unusual individual that has kind of had maybe some bad things coming out about them, and instead of like leaving the internet like a normal, I don't like using normal, but like a normal person would do, they tend to feed into it. Now I don't know anything of bad about King Cobra JFS. Actually, he's a weird oddball in that LOLCow category. Like he kind of embraces it. He knows what he is. He's kind of self-aware. He's just got some alcoholism problems more than anything that I really hope get resolved for him, that I've seen through some past streams. That was really the only ever unfortunate information that I've ever seen come out against King Cobra. If anybody knows of something that I don't know about, absolutely let me know. I'm always down to check out and learn more about LOLCows. As you can see, it's something I really enjoy doing. It's just, some of these people strike me as really interesting. Not to speak negatively, but I feel like a lot of them can be categorized into the autism spectrum, as far as like actually beyond the normal. I don't like using that name, normal. Yes, King Cobra is one of my favorites too, Jim. But I don't want to say normal, like when you're referring to autism, but they're like, they're more severely autistic, I would say. Good examples of this would be Chris Chan. I probably won't ever cover Chris Chan because there's so much gray area with that story. I don't feel comfortable that I would get all the information that I would like to get in order to give that story some just rights, because I feel like there was a lot of things that got fed into with King Cobra. Did they do wrong? Yes, but it's a matter of, did they understand what they were doing was wrong? King Cobra's, I feel the same level, a little more self-aware, I would say, than Chris Chan. Definitely a step better in the positive, where you've got like Daniel Larson and Jupiter, and they're going to, and Chibi, Johnny Somali. These are all individuals that they've got some negative to them. I don't even think that Johnny Somali's got any known autism about him. What else? Cyrex has definitely done some awful stuff. Chris Chan has also been documented to death, and it's all muddled. Yeah, that's very true too, Jim. The sense that I get is that I'm trying to say this as nicely as possible without coming off sounding very asshole-ish, ableist, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I feel like he needs someone to guide him when on the internet. And the problem is that he's been fed into so long that he thinks what he does do is correct. So it's kind of unfortunate. Yeah, King Cobra's cooking videos. And when he fights with his puppet. Yes. Yeah, although I did hear some recent unfortunate news about Puff. I think Smokey might have covered that. I don't know if that's in... Yep. Apparently Puff is missing, I guess. I don't know. I haven't touched base on the King Cobra stuff since I knew he got Puff. For those that don't know, Puff was a little lizard, and my god, did King Cobra love this little lizard to death. But yeah, I don't know. There's a very broad spectrum. There's also something called horror cows that you can get into. Horror cows would be like, oh, I can't think of the dude's name, and not that I really want to remember, but he walked outside with him on the shoulder, and he took off. Oh no. Oh no. Why didn't he get a little harness or something? That's freaking unfortunate. Hopefully it's found a warm environment for the winter, because I know he's out there in Wyoming and is brutal out there. So hopefully the lizard is alive. I'm gonna hope the best. But getting into like horror cows, there was the one brony dude, I don't remember his name. He became a he did some awful things in a grocery store involving things that come with firing pins. And he discharged stuff via firing pin, and I believe ended up fatally injuring several people. But that's more of a horror cow story. I can't remember the guy's name. I know I'm probably doing it wrong, because I believe they also became transgender or something like that. It's a very interesting story. But that's a horror cow. So again, other horror cows, like you want to go to a horror cow light, Tafia Chew, fantastic version of horror cow light, just does awful stuff, like cringe-worthy. I covered them really early when I started streaming. She drank dog pee out of a cup with no expression changed at all. Just gross. Papa Chew, who is in the thumbnail there, is an awful person. There's a lot of history there, and I believe he suffers from extreme mental abuse, or mental impairment. Let's go with that. But has also swindled people and stuff, allegedly, from what I've seen. Anyway, let's get into coverage of someone that would really fit the official title of LOLCow well. So we're going to go over Smokey's video on Jupiter here.
The dude has been saying some absolutely insane stuff yet again, and I know if you know anything about the Jupiter the Hybrid story, this probably isn't too shocking. I mean, this is the same man who claimed once that he only dated minors for show. You know, I don't know why he would do that at all, but he did it, I guess, as a power move. Didn't really work.
I think it is Randy Starr. Yeah, I think that's who I was thinking of. And Ember, yep. Danny Phantom, yep, that's exactly who I was thinking of. Sorry, the names come hard to me sometimes, but the storylines, I know that came down to a really random coin flip too that was involved there. It's a very interesting story, don't get me wrong, but there's also that there's another animator, like 3D claymation person that was also like in a horror cow category as well. Again, someone else I don't remember, but yeah, Randy Starr is technically under the classification of a horror cow, not a LOLCow.
Work out in his favor. He's the same man who claims that he's a vampire werewolf hybrid that only recently got turned into a vampire werewolf demon dragon hybrid.
By the way, the irony of how similar this story sounds to the recent Mama Max drama, just a bit of irony.
So as you can tell, the dude's pretty much out of his mind. But it gets so much worse now, because somebody else is involved in this story too, and their name is Linda Binda. Linda Binda is the person you'll hear on the other side of this phone call we're going to listen to today, and it's the person who's been calling Jupiter all this time throughout our time covering him. Jupiter seems to trust Linda Binda, despite Linda Binda turning around every time they have a phone call and posting Jupiter's terrible things he says online for tens of thousands of people to see. Now, I had thought that he was oblivious to this. However, at the end of this phone...
Oh, I didn't realize that. So Jim is saying that, yeah, it was a huge thing with Randy when it happened out there because, well, like I said, it was a firing pin device that was discharged and fatally injured a couple people, but apparently that was 2 hours away from you. Wow. Yeah, I can imagine the big deal that would be. I grew up less than 20 minutes from Manhattan and all that when 9/11 happened, so I can imagine how crazy it got. Man, especially in the light of recent firing pin tragedies like what happened in Maine and all that. And now recently you've got Las Vegas, University of Las Vegas. But brief synopsis right here, kind of hopefully move towards a lighter subject. Smokey's persona, you'll see a lot, is an animated version of this gentleman. Don't know who it is. I think it's just a random picture that Smokey picked, but and I don't believe that is Smokey themselves. But he is, I think, Hawaiian, possibly native Hawaiian. Don't know, but I believe he's Hawaiian.
Call here, you're going to find out that he's not. And if Linda Binda slips up and uploads any more of these calls or backstabs Jupiter, he has some pretty graphic things that he's going to do to this person. And you'll have to hear what that is in due time. But, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this guy has said so much off-the-wall shit. You know, sometimes I try to beat around the bush on what these people say, but it's really predatory stuff. Jupiter has seemingly no problem dating people who are underage, and he only gets mad when people find out about it and he gets exposed for it. So no one should have any sympathy for this guy, and when you hear the way he talks about his actions, it's going to come off like any of these other predators you've seen on the channel. He's going to lie, feign ignorance, and act like...
By the way, I think that, just in the going back to my original comparison, I think Smokey and Kiwi Tapes do more to help out victims with how they track all this stuff than Mama Max does. Just my 2 cents. I'm a little bitter. I found out I got 2 dislikes on my Mama Max stream, and I'm hoping to God that they're Mama Max and Spencer, because I think that'd be hilarious, because I got like 8 people clicked either like or dislike, and there was only 2 dislikes. And so part of me is really hoping that it's Mama Max and Spencer that disliked my last stream on him.
What he did is really no big deal, and that it's all in the past. And I mean, you don't even really got to wait long to hear that one. We're going to start the phone call right now, and I mean, it's literally...
Okay, so Smokey's going to get into the Jupiter here. So to kind of encompass, you're going to hear, so trigger warning, I guess, if you want to go that way. But you're going to hear stuff as far as like Jupiter. You're going to, hopefully you'll pick up that he's a little mentally deficient. And with that, I don't think he understood the context of stuff. Strange correlation you'll see with a lot of these people is they are heavily into a fantasy of some sort. So you'll have like Chris Chan came up with Sanachu. You know, going to King Cobra JFS, he is obsessed with like metal culture and goth and all that. Jared Genesis built his whole thing around being a dude bro and a Sega gamer, I guess. I don't know. He's awful at literally everything he does. Tofia Chu, you'll see there was a false universe built there with a caricature that was based on Mickey Mouse. What else? Yeah, with Jupiter, obviously it gets into the vampire werewolf hybrid. He's more along the neckbeard lines, in my opinion. If you know what a neckbeard is, the LOLCow neckbeard blend is very similar. I would say with autism, LOLCow. Without autism, neckbeard. That's my best synopsis.
Right away.
On Facebook, people are just like hating on me because of my past and what I did in the past.
I can 100% see Max doing that for himself and disliking it. He's vain enough to do so. He definitely is vain enough to do so. Oh, yeah. Ozzy is JFS's, or King Cobra's, definite god. I mean, he worships that individual, and it's hilarious. King Cobra also does a wand business. Like, he's very, very, like I said, I would love to lay out a spectrum at some point, because I feel like that'd be the best way to lay this stuff out. But King Cobra would definitely be your lighthearted, chill, just dopey, weird, especially when he gets into cooking and making his drinks. Those are definitely weird. 10 out of 10 tubes. So you'll hear that, and hey Tubes, what's up? And he's just got his own quirkiness about him. Let's put it that way. Like I said, other than there was a little bit of history, I know he's got a little bit of alcohol issues. But yeah, I would say your middle of the road, like everyday LOLCows would probably be more your Chris Chan, Jupiter, which we're gonna watch now. And then, like I said, getting into your more horrible stuff we're gonna cover later on. But Kiwi and Smokey did a great job at exposing, and like this guy, LOLCow speedrun, he went from someone with no name to full-blown LOLCow, and like other creators are making videos on him in a year, which is kind of unheard of. I mean, Chris Chan, to give you an example, has been around since basically the dawn of YouTube in like mid 2000s. So you're talking about 15 years to get to the point they're at now. Jupiter spent a couple of years. King Cobra's been on it for years. So to do this in under a year is an impressive speed run of awfulness. Another thing I love about Cobra is the copycat troll King Cobra JFS. Liquid Chris for Chris Chan. Yep. Yeah, and that's the other thing you'll see is there's different, like, almost like troll groups. I almost want to say LOLCow handlers. They almost become. So, like, what Jim's mentioning, you know, you got the famous Liquid Chris and Chris Chan. Liquid Chris actually imitated Chris Chan for a while, and there was a whole funny story arc there. You've got Cyrex and Marty. Yeah, that is hilarious. If like you have hours and hours to devote to nothingness, crap, awful like people content, highly recommend going down the Cyrex journey. King Cobra's got a couple different ones, but I think he kind of like floats along in his way. But yeah, he did have the King Cobra with a K. Troll. I'm trying to think of what else you'll see with oh god, what was her name?
Act like what he did is really no big deal and that it's all in the past. And I mean, you don't even really gotta wait long to hear that one. We're gonna start. He's gonna and Linda Binda slips up.
Linda Binda. So Linda Binda, you'll see it involved with Jupiter here. Linda Binda is a caricature. Every person has some sort of caricature, I feel like, that is associated with them. Liquid Chris with Chris Chan, Linda Binda now with Jupiter the Hybrid, and then oh god, I'm trying to think of other different ones. Drunken Peasants. I kind of feel like they've gotten a nice little title for being a kind of hands-off wrangler with Jared Genesis. There was actually a different little story arc in there where he's on that farther darker scale of LOLCow, in my opinion, because of some of the stuff that he's said and done. But he's had a very in-depth troll in his community that went on for months, I believe. But yeah,
Have any sympathy for this guy, and when you hear the way he talks about his actions, it's gonna come off like any of these other predators you've seen on the channel. He's gonna lie, feign ignorance, and act like what he did is really no big deal and that it's all in the past. And I mean, you don't even really gotta.
by the way, I know y'all are waiting for the reveal here. This man is a stud.
Wait long to hear that one. We're going to start the phone call right now, and I mean, it's literally right away.
On Facebook, people are just like hating on me because of my past and what I did in the past. We need to leave that in the past if we're ever going to move forward. It was a long time ago. I want to put it behind me before anyone else gets in trouble because of me.
Jupiter tries to claim that him talking with minors was a long time ago.
And yeah, so you're going to see a little bit of that. I want to get to another point here. There is a couple actual live videos. Man, I really want to get into some of the live content. Let's go here.
Even though you said you're sorry, I'm still upset with you. If Zaina's okay with me being like your part-time like boyfriend or whatever, I don't mind if Zaina is on board with it.
Okay, yeah.
Linda Binda is the female voice that you hear there.
I will check with her next time I talk to her. I'll see if she's okay with me having like other girlfriends to talk to and, you know, flirt with once in a while, because I don't mind flirting with you.
So Jupiter...
Oh, and then, let's see.
Okay.
Copy what I sent you, the first message I sent you. Copy that and post it on TikTok. Make everybody aware of my story, of my...
So Jupiter opens up a little bit on what happened with him and his brothers.
Yeah, and so you're also going to hear, I really don't want to cut off or steal content from Smokey here. I really would like to. Here's Linda Binda.
Now wants to be known as Shadow Raven. Told me to tell you guys what Kia said to you is truth. And Shane did.
And this is confirmed to be a bit, as far as I know.
What he said and more. Shane beat me up and tied me up. Basically made me his plaything. I complied to protect Kia from him. And then he said, put that on TikTok. Put my story out there. Make everyone aware of my pain.
So again, Jupiter confirms everything that his little sister is saying. He says that all the things that his brother Shane has been alleged to do, the guy has done and more. Which is such a creepy thing.
Yeah, and like I said, the things that his I think it's brother, but I don't remember if it's brother, like actual brother. There's some weird... You get into family circles instead of trees. Yeah, if that makes sense.
To think about when the first thing we heard about, the only thing we know for a fact, is as creepy as it is. Jupiter then goes on to...
There we
and
go.
if you still love me, tell everyone on TikTok.
Nope, that's not what I was looking
tell
for.
Tell everyone that you
I
still
should,
love me.
like, actually start
and that you want
being
relationship to
intelligent
flourish.
and timestamping
Her
these.
full name is Shiratora Star Sparkle, but she prefers the name Star.
But yeah, he's been caught kind of conversing with minors and stuff. You'll see that's kind of an ongoing trend with a lot of these LOLCows. So the other half of the team I want to talk about here is Kiwi Tapes. This Kiwi Tapes channel, again, Smokey's channel as well. Please go out and support these guys. They've got a decent amount of content going on. And it's just, I think a lot of it is just fun and interesting to watch. They also provide a lot of different content in who they cover. Like this Lachey Hinton. This is someone that's actually really like true definition of LOLCow. They had gotten TikTok famous, I think back when TikTok was Musical.ly. And they posted a video of them dancing in an Apple store, and I guess it started a trend and everything else. Well, now they're older. They're a mother, and they are an awful person. Kiwi's also covered this Paul, which he's a real piece of work. Dimension 7, yeah, oh my god, for watching a video. Dimension 7, yeah, this person legit is gone. Donovan Mayo was another good video. Buddy is another good video. I mean, it's just good to get information because these people leave and come back. Shani and Rev. God, if you've been around and hung around videos long enough, you've heard of Shani and Rev, regardless of what community you're in. Whether it be the TikTok side or the YouTube side, both of them. They have been e-beggars for, I think they might have spawned the e-beggar thing. But, yeah, they're just awful individuals as well. They've squandered away an entire winning. I don't know if it was like a lot of winnings or if it was a like an estate that was awarded to them through death of a relative or something. Airsoft Fatty, I'm still learning a little bit about. I don't know a whole lot. Leslie Clark is another ongoing TikToker. They're kind of a little on the insane side as well, where they had obsessions with different creators on TikTok. But the ones that I really want to cover on here, God, there's so many good ones that Kiwi has done, but we're going to look at a little bit of the Nova content, and then we're going to look at the big one is White Bowser. So White Bowser is this LOLCow that they just straight discovered out of the ether. Okay, this person, Pokemon just appeared for them. Okay, so who is White Bowser? And if you notice in my thumbnail, I got the little Bowser on one of the bombs that's dropping. Well, here's the other reason why there's a PDF file on there. So I do want to cover a majority of this. They've had it out for 6 months. I feel safe covering this content. They've gotten a good amount of views out of it. But Kiwi did a fantastic job of putting the whole timeline together. I've watched another White Bowser video somewhere as well. But we're going to go through this. But there is a third channel that's going to get touched on that I want to mention. This is Kiwi Archives. And Smokey also has a Smokey Archives. It's basically because the content and the people that they're covering, they're very retaliatory people. Especially if like you get into Foodie Beauty, who's another individual. They were with a very abusive person. And that abusive person has gone on to continue their YouTube or whatever career, and they should be banned for all intents and purposes. But what we're looking at with Kiwi tapes, and this is, I believe, the only place you can find these, is this 110 podcast. This is something they set up with just White Bowser. It's also where they kind of exposed him for a lot of different things. So if you want to see the content like real time, definitely recommend going to Kiwi Archives and going down and checking out these videos. They're long, but they're great to throw on in the background and listen to spurginess. But they do, Smokey and Kiwi together, do this new podcast that kind of birthed out of this. And you'll hear that a little bit in the White Bowser story. But it birthed this Too High for Stupid podcast. And I guess it's a podcast would be the best way to explain it. But it's them going over just different things going on together. They had recently, and I want to find it right here, they actually started putting together a LOLCow Awards. And I was watching this. It is so great. And if you want like a good synopsis for the 2023 year of LOLCows, they've got some pretty good coverage content in there. But yeah, from that, let's go on and take a look at White Bowser. Because this is really the individual that I wanted to cover, but I didn't want to cover him. I wanted to give justice and just due to Kiwi and Smokey, because without them, we would not have the White Bowser.
Some of you may have seen me on live stream with this guy before. You may think you know the story behind what he has done, but like an onion, the more layers we peel back, the stinkier it gets. No one knew what he had done to his underage coworker. No one knew he was the owner of a Discord server full of minors at the age of 30. No one knew the truth. Until recently, we thought the White Bowser was just a terrible guy who had said awful things. We thought this was all about cartoons, and that could not have been farther from the truth. Earl Doobie otherwise...
So, just to get into preface of this a little bit, you're going to hear about content being shared with minors that should not have been shared with minors. Conduct against a minor, and I believe he was over the age of 18 at the time. That is not okay conduct to do towards a minor. Yeah, and then we're going to touch on, unfortunately, like hentai and stuff, which if you don't know what that is, probably don't Google search that. Think anime X-rated. That's the best I can give you. It's not necessarily a specific anime, it's just the art style, okay? Then you get into, there's different, like, weird freaking levels to all of this stuff that I don't understand, and I don't want to understand it. No freaking desire to.
Otherwise known as the White Bowser, was hidden among us for quite some time. He was a fan of fellow YouTuber Smokey MCC's, and a member of his old Discord server, The Smoke Shack. There you could find the White Bowser at any hour of the day, almost every day.
So there, to give you a little bit of history with White Bowser. So he came in through Smokey's server, so he's aware of what LOLCows are, okay? He came in laughing at Chris Chan.
Either posting about how much his life sucked or trashing on anyone else's opinions that he himself did not hold. Sure, people would disagree with him and debate him, but it wasn't anything more than that, until the White Bowser said some things that
Okay, one other thing that I don't think gets covered in this documentary, because I think I don't know if they really touch on it, but he is of Catholic religious background. No, I know it doesn't really matter, but it does matter because he makes it matter. Just with how he does an apology and stuff at one point, it's just he drags his religion into it, which is kind of just a scummy thing to do.
Really made him some...
I mean, he did a lot of other scummy crap, so the religion's on the minor side.
Enemies. One day he would be in a voice chat, a very common thing for Bowser. And jokingly, someone asked him the most important question of this whole ordeal. Earl, what kind of not safe for work content are you into? He would immediately list 2 anime that he watched in that regard. Freezing, a show about genetically modified teens, and Tawawa on a Monday, a show...
Which, oddly enough, I do want to mention, I believe that is the same hentai that Mama Max covered. Oddly enough. And yeah, if you didn't know, I don't know if I touched on that arc or not. It's not... He basically refutes it by saying, oh, it was a parody account. It wasn't a parody account as far as I know. Like, he actually reviewed this stuff, and he did it because he enjoyed it. He also did kind of a My Life Sucks thing, too, and kind of talked on, like, dealing with depression and anxiety and all sorts of other stuff, which I don't think he ever fully got over and got diagnosed properly, if you want to ask me. But yeah, anyway, a nice little similar tie there back to the previous stream. So, Max, you're really skirting that LOLCow territory.
Show about a girl in high school being groomed by a salesperson in their 20s. The White Bowser would be immediately grilled by the fellow members of the voice chat about how these characters were underage, and that watching them in that context is very creepy. This would lead to the first utterance of the now infamous line, "They're just cartoons." The White Bowser believes that because these characters are fictional, it doesn't matter what age they are. Another common excuse that Bowser uses is that he and his friends would watch these shows together when he was in college. Both of these excuses did very little to stem the incoming tide of questions.
By the way, Gay Illuminati, I love that name. That's a freaking awesome name. Illuminati's gone right into the LOLCow territory too with what she's done. And Oz Media and what's it, the Click. There are a couple individuals that could technically be her handlers at this point, and all coming from the Sad Milk situation. Seems a trend with some of these people. It's always a troll or parody account, never them. Oh yeah. That's one of the biggest copes that they have.
From the fellow members of the voice chat, causing Earl to leave soon after. That was when the people who had spoke to him began the long and still ongoing process of digging up anything and everything in Bowser's past. But before they had begun to even scratch the surface, Earl made another statement equally as repulsive as the first. A fellow member of the Discord was a vet, and he was talking about some of the struggles he faced after coming home.
By the way, there will be some coverage of the streams from that 110 podcast that are in here. I hope you guys enjoy and laugh as much as I did, because they rightfully bully him. I'm sorry, but I think it's absolutely well deserved.
Home, because he served overseas and he had seen some things. Earl, a 30-year-old man who has never served, in fact he makes pony music videos, told the vet that if his life was so bad, he should just end it. Naturally, this infuriated everyone who heard about it.
I'm going to bump this up on speed, I apologize, but it just, I don't want to, continually rob their content verbatim.
Everyone who saw it, and I gotta say the manpower behind looking into Earl had to have tripled after that. Bowser would be banned from the Discord after the mods found out about this, not before he told multiple other people to do the same thing to themselves. And after this, Bowser would take to Twitter, adding Smokey, saying that his community had kicked him out with no reason at all, going on to not only threaten multiple people trying to explain it to him, but also revealing the town that he lived in. People swiftly found almost all of his personal information, as he had made it extremely easy to find. His
there's a clown arc I forgot about with this, a legitimate clown.
Full name was in his YouTube description, for Christ's sakes. This would lead the investigators to a Reddit post made by the White Bowser. It was called The Day My Life Turned Into an Anime. This post would go on to describe how when Earl was working at a movie theater, he had groped a coworker in what he calls an accident. He claims they all put their hands in a circle, threw them up in the air, and when his hand came down, it happened to land on his coworker's chest. We would not know that she was 17 until much later. Let me read you.
Those Discords just kicking people out for the slightest little things. Yeah, but you're gonna find out it was well deserved. So yeah, I mean, you can call it sensitive for what they initially kicked him for, but all of that led to digging up some real dirt on this guy, and yeah, he belongs in a box under the ground, if you want to ask me.
You guys a little bit of this post. She turned around faster than lightning and said, "You better hustle." And yes, I'm not even sure that is what she said. I don't remember. Also, when she turned around at breakneck speed, my hand moved from grabbing the back of her shoulder to the front of her chest. And yes, this all happened within the span of 5 seconds. When she stormed off, I was just standing in shock with all my coworkers behind me, and they were all looking at me, and all I could say was, I should not have done.
So here you got the act of moving to grope.
That. The rest of the night went off very awkwardly. I started cleaning my station and couldn't find the girl I touched anywhere. A few minutes later, my boss told me to go home. So I drove home, saying in my head, what just happened? What did I just do? I was told I can no longer linger at the movie theater, even if it's to say hi to old friends. I was also told that because of the accident that had happened with that girl, that I now gave her PTSD. If this is the case, you will no longer see me come to the movie theater.
I can't speak on to say if that act gives you PTSD. I would imagine, coming from this stunning gentleman here, it might.
Theater as a customer. This will be my final message to all my friends I made. If forgiveness and reconciliation cannot be fabricated between this situation,
facilitated, he said fabricated,
then I would rather go to a different movie theater. I cannot go to a place where I know I ruined someone's life and mental well-being. Please do not reply to this message. Just take it knowing that I need to move on if I'm going to improve myself and become a better person. Thank you and goodbye. When this was found, things began to
So I just want to drill it in, because this is something that came back to me when I was thinking about this. You think about it, 5 seconds doesn't seem like that long. So let's count it out. You know.
change.
Probably about that long. Apologize, I didn't mean to. I spazzed a little there and hit the play button. But yeah, so I mean, it seems like a while when you really stop and like count out the time to have your hand just rested on a breast.
Rapidly. Not only was Bowser beginning to acquire some of his very first trolls, but myself and Smokey were informed of the situation, and that's where we come in. Someone had convinced the White Bowser that Smokey was in a content farming ring with Cyrax and Music Biz Marty, accusing Smokey of paying Cyrax to fake his rages, saying that Smokey was a predator just like Rax. Bowser had zero evidence for all this, just the word of a troll, and after making a video calling Smokey all of these things with absolutely no evidence, he got my full attention. And when I ran across him streaming Genshin Impact one day, I decided to restream him. And when he found out about this, his chat started asking him to hop on panel with me. And with a lot of help, he agreed, but only because he expected me to pay him at the end.
So, to give you, hopefully everybody caught the full synopsis there. So he heard from a troll that Smokey is a bad person. He goes and he talks crap about Smokey. Smokey sees it, Kiwi sees it. Kiwi then goes back and starts talking crap to White Bowser. And so we end up with, I kind of want to drop this down a little bit.
But during this stream, Bowser would be thrown a curveball. We would bring on the troll who had told him Smokey was in this content farming ring in the first place.
So they have this individual that will be in these calls called the Cow Wrangler or Wrangler or something like that. So that's the individual that basically said all the crap about Smokey, but it was set up. So Smokey already knew what was said and helped construct the argument. He just basically took the word of one person, ran with it, and decided to shit talk people on the internet, and it didn't work out for him.
Who would almost immediately tell Earl that it was all a lie.
So Wawa on a Monday and Freezing. Those were the two animes I brought up. Those are the only two animes I brought up.
Describe each of these animes.
So Wawa on Monday is about, you know what's, hold on, can you look up if they actually say how old Ai-chan is?
I don't want that on my search history, bro.
Well, that's the thing. They never say how old she is in the anime. They just say she has big tits.
What does that have to do with it?
You think the Cow Wrangler's mean and gay?
Anything, bro. What does that have to do with what we're talking about right now?
Because that's the thing. If you're gonna throw out that a random drawing of someone who could be any age has the biggest tits ever, then how can you call that as something that's part of reality?
This sounds like a tipster argument, by the way.
I just wanted you to describe this anime to me. And
just think, like, if you're aware at all and why people call tipster a LOLCow, imagine White Bowser as tipster and imagine Kiwi as Keemstar.
You're going on about big tits.
Fine, I'll concentrate. So Wawa on Monday is about well, I don't even not sure if I call her a girl or a woman, because once again they don't tell us what Tawawa's age is. But Tawawa on Monday is about a woman whose boobs won't stop growing, and she has a little sister. Then there's a wife who has an H cup.
Why are these fucking things so fucking weird? Like, I know, kink shaming, all that bullshit, but like, I don't really give a shit. Like, if you're used to taking a silicone penis up your butthole, like, cool, great for you. Not everybody's into it. I don't really give a shit if you do it. I will never, ever, ever see you in that light, so I genuinely do not give a crap. I don't want to see you in that light. Trust me. So, I don't care if you're into this, per se. Obviously, I care if you're into it and it's because it's kids and stuff. That's fucking weird. But, like, if you're into, like, breast expansion and stuff like that, like, I don't really give a shit. Like, just keep it to you don't have to tell us about it.
And all this other crap about big tits, and it's just a bunch of tomfoolery, really.
So, what, you have some evidence against Smokey?
Yeah, man, Smokey. It's clearly Smokey's farming content guy. Come on.
I mean, I saw your screenshot, but I mean, what else can you tell me about it?
All I'm saying, man, is I don't know how White Bowser could believe any of that.
Mr. Doobie, are you still there?
So you were a double agent the whole time?
And right after, Bowser would do something that would take every single person by surprise. He wanted a platform where he could share his excuses with a wide
So they revealed the whole double agent thing.
Audience. And after I re-streamed him, I think he believed I was on his side, because a day later, I got an offer to start a weekly podcast called 110 Autism, a name that he chose, and to run it.
And that, going back, Kiwi Tapes, we go, or no, sorry, apologies, it's on Kiwi Archive. All the way down to the bottom here. It's these blue ones if you're looking for them.
Every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. All this after what he had said about a friend of mine. Needless to say, I accepted. Before we go forward, I want to take it back a little bit and share some info from Bowser's past that helps establish a pattern. Back in 2017, Bowser was deep in the brony community, and he would make pony music videos, or PMVs for short. And
again, I don't really give a crap if you're a brony or any of that stuff. Not my cup of tea, but have at it, I guess. As long as you're not like into, again, there's so many weird freaking things with that community too.
And at BronyCon 2017, the same one that Chris Chan attended, Bowser would go on to be one of the finalists in their PMV competition. And when it was revealed that the winner of the competition had attempted to take their own life weeks after winning, Earl would take to r/PMV and call the winner of the competition not only selfish, but also threatening them in the process. He would be swiftly kicked out of the PMV subreddit, becoming a pariah of the community. Another example of Earl being ran off would be the subreddit r/BigBoobs, where Earl would not
How bad is it? How bad do you gotta be that you get chased out of a Discord and a Reddit? Like, I'm sorry, but okay, like these areas, for the most part, I'm gonna say it. Discord can be degenerate as fuck. Reddit can be degenerate as fuck. So for you to get chased out of both areas, you gotta be really fucking degenerate as fuck.
only stalk women, but he would also harass them for not posting NSFW content and actually having real problems.
Hold on.
The subreddit r/BigBoobs, where Earl would not only stalk women, but he would also harass them for not posting NSFW content and actually having real problems they wished to discuss.
Classy guy.
Now you may be asking yourself, Kiwi Tapes, why are you telling me all this? It's because Bowser has a long history of mistreating communities and then running off once he's called out for his terrible behavior. Almost always seeking some form of revenge against them. Which leads us to the first episode of the White Bowser and Kiwi Tapes' podcast. And when the podcast began, we brought on Smokey, and after Smokey dismantled every point that Bowser made in all his videos, I began to bring people who had had previous interactions with Bowser onto the panel as well. All while telling Earl that they had paid to be there and he had to...
Again, I know this is mean, per se, but, like, you're bullying a bully at this point, in my opinion. Like, if YouTube doesn't take the content as bullying and going against terms of service there, and obviously what White Bowser is also doing is definitely falls under that bullying and mistreatment. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. I think he gets what he deserves.
Set through it all because we weren't scammers. Being that he thought he was getting paid, he had no choice but to sit there and endure all of their criticisms. And when a guest named Cow Wrangler began telling Bowser some very hard truths, he had a very physical reaction.
Well, this is deplorable behavior, Mr. Bowser. You're like Cyrax.
Oh yeah, I think there's like a Liquid Chris in here, or some Chris Chan impersonator.
And Mr. Chandler, as you can tell, this man in particular preys on women because he's a no-good degenerate. The fact that he likes to praise that he's a Catholic,
I think that's Cow Wrangler.
he's a good, righteous man is bullshit.
Exactly, yes.
He is nothing more than someone who uses the name just to feel big and good about himself.
So there's Cow Wrangler, there's a Liquid Chris Chan impersonator to some extent. You're gonna have Smokey in here, you got Kiwi Tapes in here. Actually, I don't know if Smokey's in this one. Kiwi is definitely in this, and then Bowser.
He likes to go into those subreddits and preach and pray and try to look holy. Bowser, God doesn't like you. You have made me miserable.
Oh man, I want to get smoke a cigarette.
It's the fake, like, religion thing here going on that it drives me up a wall.
You will be remembered, not as a good man, but as someone who scares women, who scares people, who goes around and spreads his degeneracy without anyone wanting it. And I'm just going to emphasize it again. Chihuahua does say that I is 15. It emphasizes that she's in high school. And you still jerked off to.
So that means it's predatory, you know, the PDF content.
Do it.
I mean, I looked at the wiki. I mean, it does say that.
Is that true, Bowser? Is Chihuahua 15?
Oh, I actually sent you the link to the wiki, Kiwi. So I figured that would help you out a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I sent it to everyone in here, I believe, because I wanted to make sure that everyone was well aware of who they were talking to. And that girl.
This man is on the verge of a meltdown right here because he just got caught with his pants down around his ankles, hand on his dick, in a public display. Like, imagine just pants around the ankles, hand on dick, just going to town churning butter, and then the curtains open on a theater. That's kind of the situation.
Besides from her obnoxious breast, looks like a child. She looks like a 15-year-old. Her friends look like children. So the fact that you sexualize her and you make comments about dreaming about turning into her is so interesting.
Are you fucking done? Please fucking stop. I mean, she just
Oh, no, I think. But fellas, I don't mean to exacerbate the wound here.
Away, fucking stop.
Well,
I'm sorry how they handled this situation. Chef's kiss, guys.
Guys.
Fucking hell!
Bowser,
Okay.
Bowser, come on.
Go ahead,
Fucking hell! Fucking stop!
Bowser, come on, dude. Remember, like I said, dude, this is a podcast. We're just chilling. Just take some breath.
That's Kiwi, I believe, right there.
You want to take a commercial break? Do you want to take a commercial break,
We'll be right back
Bowser?
after these messages. We'll be good.
Come on, dude.
we can take a minute. We can take a minute.
Take a quick commercial break. There's nothing the matter. Everything's fine. It's just a cow wrangler. Remember what we said about the goon? The goon's a goon. The cow wrangler's a cow wrangler.
So he's just giving him the haters gonna hate right there.
Just take some breaths. We'll read some comments. Jay Adverse with the 15. Jesus, Jay, thank you so much, man. Me and Bowser are going to be eating great. Bowser, you need to take this as a wake-up call and taste things that come if you continue doing what you're doing. Recognize all your faults. It's not with the end of the world.
You want to talk?
We're just reading comments, dude. We can't shit on the dope. These people are our bosses, Bowser. Deep breaths. We're going to keep going. Another 5 from Steve from Machete Squad. Bowser, how does it feel knowing that you screwed up for the rest of your life? He's got to be a villain.
Definitely a villain.
Yeah.
They literally bring this dude to tears, and I'm sorry, but I don't feel like there's ever been a more justified thing here. I'm sorry, gay Illuminati, we disagree. I think this is just deserved. I'm sorry. For what all the information they found out. And again, my only feeling on this and why I feel like it's just deserved is because this man could have clicked and left at any point in time. You're not held hostage to the internet. I mean, you're not. So to go through and have all this crying and everything else, disconnect. And honestly, that's kind of what they were pushing for anyway. Like, if he had ever disconnected, you wouldn't have all this going on. And he just feels like it's a common thread with LOLCows that they have this kind of main character syndrome. That's a term that's used a lot. But they get this like main character syndrome to where they think they're so important they can't disconnect from the internet. I mean, if you look at Cyrex recently, there was an arrest video back in October, I believe, where he was arrested for assault, and there's police video when he's in the cruiser and the cops are telling him just disconnect, bro. And he's like, well, I was off for a few days, and here he's getting arrested and charged with assault because of stuff that went on. You're bringing this on yourself. The internet, any point in time, Control Alt F4, whatever you gotta do, Control W. I don't know if you're on a Mac, right click something, or no, sorry, that's weird. Left click, close windows or something. I don't know. They're all messed up over there, but you're not the most important person in the world, and for your mental health, just disconnect.
Too good.
I see Mr. Bowser so excited. He's trying to tears of joy.
Bowser, what's up?
The Christian.
What's up, Bowser? Do we need to take a 5-minute break, Bowser? All right.
And I'm sorry, it's such a low quality video. I can't even give justice that this guy's really crying. I don't buy this. I believe this is a pity.
Here's what I'm gonna do, Bowser. I'm gonna put you in the back for a little bit and let you calm down. Let Kay come in here. Is that all right? All right. We'll see you here in a bit.
When he finished blowing his nose, he would return, to me reading extremely critical donations.
And again, you know, I'm sorry, but anybody that's really been that upset and cried that hard, I'm sorry, but after a while you get that like hyperventilate type thing going on, and that's something that just stuck out. He looks totally normal. Like if you look at the beginning of the stream where he came in and now, there's no difference. Like his face is not red, nose is not red, eyes are not swollen. I mean, these are all things that are natural when you're upset and crying. Like it's a strenuous act on the body. And so there's the what is it? Oh my god! Secondary effects of being like that upset. You're gonna have him for a while. To look just plain Jane like he does, just doesn't feel right to me.
Since I had to keep up the facade of being a loyal co-host, I took great pleasure in reading these. And the parade of Bowser haters continued when I brought in another person who had interacted with Bowser, a man named Zippity, who proceeded to grill Earl so hard that Earl began to pray to God for help.
I just want to bring up, he constantly says that he was fired from the, not fired, yet he quit from the cinema job. I just went and I was able to find an archive of the Reddit post. He straight up says he was fired. He straight up says his boss yelled at him in anger.
By the way, this person, very clearly Canadian, and I'm sorry, some of you Canadians, you got fantastically funny accents. But he sounds like, oh my god, Trailer Park Boys character that I can't think of.
And that all the females that he was working around, females, I sound like an incel saying that, but that's what he said, were uncomfortable around him and that they didn't like him working there. There's also other Reddit posts where he is constantly the most spiteful, ignorant piece of shit and talking down to anyone who disagrees with him with the most smug attitude. Oh, you guys are just sinners, because that's the way he fucking operates.
And see, that's part of it where I start getting into having my problem with him. I don't like you sitting there saying you're sinners and bringing religion into it when you're doing stuff that's not okay either, bro.
Great. This disingenuous, you're trying to give human rights to cartoons shit is fucking the most obvious, transparent shit ever. No one in the fucking history of this interaction has ever said that. We are calling him out and saying that he is creepy for looking at depictions of underage girls.
And I feel like, to kind of preface too, I feel like just to clarify some terms here. So you've got like grooming, like what you would do with an animal, and then you have creepy, which, you know, like Halloween Horror House. Creepy, I feel like, is the preface to grooming. So if you're going to groom your pet, the preface would be creepy before grooming. So I know that was kind of a weird context, but I don't know how YouTube reacts with all these words, and I'm still learning all that. So hopefully I'm not getting in trouble for what I'm doing. I'm trying to put in different context, just like I did with that firing pin exercise.
Oh, I just remembered. My favorite Reddit post about that was deleted by the fucking moderators of the post. It was Daddit, and he went, I don't remember, there was, the post itself is deleted, but a lot of the comments are still there, and from the context, it's fucking creepy, and a lot of people are asking why his pretend daughter that he doesn't have sees him as a fucking god.
Yeah, so that was another thing. You get into, like, this, DDLG, Daddy Dumb Little Girl. He kind of does this whole weird thing where he has clearly underage children calling him daddy, and all the moderators and stuff in the server are daddy. It's just weird, bro. It's there's too much there to say that it's not in his favor. Let's just put it that way.
That is in the fucking, it's most insane shit fucking ever.
All throughout the show, Bowser is defending his actions, saying he groped his coworker on accident, saying that the age of cartoon characters didn't matter because they were fictional, while at the same time backtracking everything he had said previously, saying that he didn't watch those characters in an illicit way.
And see, the backtracking's another part of it. Like, sit there and say you did all this stuff, and then kind of, walk it back and say, oh, no, I was just kidding. It's all for jokes, lol.
And saying that he never told anyone to off themselves. All lies, something that he seems very comfortable with. What he isn't quite so comfortable with is the truth. And when I brought Cow Wrangler back in for round 2, Earl would have another negative reaction to being told the truth.
Can I just say one thing I wanted to add in here really quick? If this was such an accident, Bowser, why do you have a history of preying on women?
I don't!
Oh, you do, Bowser. In fact, you do. It's actually really well documented. There's a cosplayer. There's the Reddits that you've been ran out of. And let's not forget the girl that you groped. So you clearly have a history where you're going.
I fucking don't, you fucking psychopath!
Bowser would leave soon after.
I don't know why, but that just, every time I've heard that, it's made me giggle.
And the very first episode of 110 Autism would end. And in the week leading up to episode 2, me and Smokey were trying to formulate some kind of a game plan. Being as Bowser...
So they thought at this point, they kind of burned the bridge on this guy. They embarrassed him publicly. He kind of sat there, he took it. I feel like, honestly, yeah, they would have gone with the content, but if White Bowser kind of actually cut ties there, walked away, apologies, you're going to hear my girls barking in the background. He would have been way better off than what comes along next.
Bowser threatened so many of us legally, we thought it would be hilarious to host a mock court where the chat would be the jury. To be honest, this was the last time we planned on interacting with Bowser. We didn't think there was anything else to be uncovered. So when episode 2 began, we came right out of the gate asking him every uncomfortable question under the sun. His defense being it was all in the past and he wants to move on. Episode 2 cleared up a lot of confusion for me, because Bowser would talk about a movie theater incident that wasn't even related to when he groped his coworker. It turns out weeks before the podcast had even began, Bowser had seen a YouTube comment under one of his videos telling him to probably not return to the movie theater he groped his coworker at. Bowser took this as a threat, immediately jumping in his car and running down to the movie theater.
Again, this feeds into that whole main character syndrome.
Warning everyone that they had to get out of there because it was dangerous, costing taxpayers thousands of dollars and surely putting him on some kind of watch list. This is also the episode where I learned...
I don't know why your comment didn't pop up on my other chat window here, but Gay, I see your, trolls are horrible people. Yes, they are horrible people. But the thing with a troll is you always have that option where you don't have to feed into it. You can just walk away. If you think you're going to be better than them and feed into it, it's never going to go in your favor. I mean, you just got to, if you're going to feed into it and play with that, you're playing with fire. And I think you got to understand that, you know what? I might not win this, or I might look bad at the end of the day. And you're rolling the dice. You're taking a chance on how that's going to play out for you. And I don't feel like if you're not mentally apt in order to be able to handle that and understand that outcome, you should not be playing with fire. I've seen other people in and around the commentary sphere interact with other people and have it go bad for them as well. There's Mama Max's editor. That person has a very extensive history. And, if you're going to interact with that person, you run the risk of looking bad, which has happened, unfortunately, with a couple different people in the sphere. But I feel like I went into it understanding why they were doing what they were doing, and I don't feel like they looked bad at the end of the day. I feel like they gave the person a taste of their own medicine, which is kind of what's going on here. Don't take this as them trolling this guy. Take it as giving him a taste of his own medicine, because this guy who stepped out of line first and decided to launch an attack first. Let's not forget that he just got fed some information under the table by Cow Wrangler, and Cow Wrangler passed information on, fed it to good old White Bowser here, and White Bowser then had that choice: play with fire or don't play with fire. And he chose play with fire, and this is the consequences of his actions.
Learned Bowser is a racist. When he was fired from the movie theater for groping his coworker, he contacted his old friend from college, Ricky, a black man. Earl was down on himself and he wanted a little bit of support from Ricky, who told Earl that he was too good for that job and he could surely find one much better. Earl
sounds like a good friend.
Proceeded to call Ricky the hard R, and after that, their friendship of many years.
And just to clarify, because the Linus Tech tips out there of the world, when we're referring to hard R, we're not talking about mentally disabled, we're talking about people of color.
ended. After learning all of this and letting everyone else have their fun, at the end of episode 2, I told Bowser exactly what I thought about him, in what I truly thought was going to be our last encounter.
Okay, so this is important. So they're not holding back here. They're literally laying it out for this guy so he understands in plain English how they feel about him and why they would like to see him gone.
Bowser, I just want you to know, I do not like you. You are a pedophile. You are everything that these people call you. And the fact that that you came to me and wanted to start a podcast with me, knowing the kind of shit that I cover, is fucking hilarious. And if you think that you're ever going to talk to me...
And again, plain English, they're telling him, Kiwi is telling him straightforward.
Again, or you're going to get anything out of me, well, you're going to be waiting for quite a few chihuahuas on a Monday. Well,
that analogy is hilarious.
Put it like that. I'm never talking to you again. This podcast is never getting another episode.
Again, flat
what
out.
about payment?
Yeah, and what about payment?
So again, just in case you're confused on that last statement right there, White Bowser constructed this understanding in his head that he would get payment from Kiwi Tapes to do this whole podcast. As far as I know, Kiwi Tapes never agreed to that.
After the end of the show, I received this message from Earl, and I thought this had all come to an end. Little did I know, it was just the beginning. I was told by a friend that we were just scratching the surface of what Bowser had done.
And so now it's coming to light because he played with fire. That backfired in his face. Now he's left again, same choice, okay? Play with fire, don't play with fire. And then at the other side, you have Smokey and you have Kiwi, who are now getting fed information because this guy has decided that he's coming out and guns are blazing. That, oh, now we know that this guy's actually awful. Let's really go after him.
And if we could convince him that I had been trolled into believing he was a predator, that we could get the podcast back on track. And we could talk about the anime Discord server full of minors that he owned. This whole time, Bowser was the owner of an anime Discord server called Laugh Tale. On the surface, it appeared to be a Discord server for anime and anime music videos.
Which, again, nobody really gives a crap about. Like, that's totally fine. If that's your interest, have at it.
But what it turned out to be was so much darker. The server was full of minors, some being as young as the age of 14.
Okay, and then how do we know that? Well, from what I've seen with screenshots through one other video on this, he assigned roles based on an age verification process of some sort. And so it clearly marked, like, what age group I believe these people were in. So I think there was like a 2 or 3 year age group for each section. So like 14 to 16, 16 to 18, 18 plus.
And it turns out that Earl and the other adults on the server were sharing illicit materials with these minors. The White Bowser stating numerous times that he himself showed not safe for work content to people under the age of 18. Bowser and his mod team would also take to having the fellow members of the server call them Daddy, Earl's username being Daddy Butcher. In a server.
And Jim said, if he was as religious as he claims, then he would learn from the phrase, he who is not without sin may cast the first stone, and he wouldn't start fighting with people when he has all these things against him. Yeah, he's got so many skeletons in the closet, Jim. It was a stupid move.
Server full of children. Being as Earl had committed a crime here.
And let's look at this guy right here, okay? Good Catholic guy with his freaking poopy pillow in the background and his Yoshi and Bowser stuff and everything else. Okay, well, first of all, it's fucking weird to me, and I'm sorry. Why do so many people that are younger than me, or my age and older especially, like if you hit my age and you've got fucking stuffed animals in the fucking background that are yours, something fucking wrong with you. I don't know if you can see, but I got like a picture of James Dean in the freaking bed because I'm an adult and this is my spare bedroom / office. Like, I don't know. Do you want this guy being the guy that introduces your teenager to porn? Let's just put it that way. Let's look at it in the most basic scope.
and people knew his full name and address, they reported this information to the proper authorities, who swiftly said it wasn't enough.
So that's a common thing, and it's basically because there's a lot of variation in America between the states and state law, and some states actually do have laws against grooming. Some states do not. There's different qualifiers that have to be met. You know, sometimes it's got to be actually like, in order to hit that lewd and lascivious act, like they actually have to try and come out and meet somebody. So if they're not physically present for a meet, then there's no intent. So it's hard because depending on where the individual is at and what they do. Oh, sorry. I end up yawning in half these things. I apologize. That's all I got to say. But I feel like the loopiness that I have a little bit in these streams helps with my caricature and hopefully enjoy the content. But yeah, I just I don't think this would be the guy I'd want to have introducing children to anything.
So getting Bowser to reveal more was priority number 1. So I decided to tell him that I was trolled into believing that he was a predator. And after being insulted numerous times, he agreed to come back to the show. Going back...
And he was insulted as far as, like, he was not going to come on because he was insulted feeling.
On this decision 2 or 3 times. I had to do episode 3 without him because of this. And I needed a co-host, so I could think of no one better than Smokey. Though Bowser did not appreciate me replacing him with his mortal enemy for 1 week, he agreed to come,
and again, mortal enemy by his choice,
back on the podcast for episode 4, where he thought me and Smokey would apologize to him and tell the whole world that we had been trolled. As soon as we start the show, it's very obvious Bowser is suspicious, demanding to know just how Smokey had been trolled.
Okay, and pay attention a little bit to the tone here. He's a lot more aware and suspicious in this call than he was previously.
Smokey? Bowser, bro, I'm genuinely so sorry for calling you a predator.
And Smokey does a fantastic job of laying the first stone in the base structure of getting this content out there.
Okay, I like to hear that.
I am too.
Yeah. I'm sorry for accusing you of having underage kids in your Discord. Okay. Like, I was totally wrong on that one, right? There's no one under 18 in there. I know that for a fact, right? Right. Yeah. Right. Okay.
I think it's weird. Sorry, Gay, that your chats are not showing up where they should be. I'm gonna pop this window out so I can see it a little bit better. But Gay, tiny window problems. I'm looking like Matt Pitt here. You go on any of their Discords, every single one of them call me a degenerate, and I should Minecraft myself. These people are sick people. There are a lot of genuinely awful people in some of these Discords, and you know, if you are of underage, I'd be paying attention as a parent. Is all I'm gonna say. Like I'm not a parent, but I like to say that I had the trial run. That was just awful in how that ended. But so I know what goes into the early part of raising a child. I have nieces and nephews. I try and treat them as best as I can and look out for them and try and make sure that they're moving in a positive direction. And so I do talk to them about this stuff, and just to get a knowledge of like, hey, who are you watching? What are you doing? Just to make sure, because like I'm a little more socially aware because of the sphere that I'm in, of like, there's bad people on the internet, and like you don't always think that there are a lot of people going around that are wolves in sheep's clothing is the best way to say it. Oh crap, come on, play.
Okay.
The irony of this whole episode is lost on Bowser. He thought that we were there to clear his name and say that we were sorry. It could not have been farther from the truth. And after an hour of Bowser smugly thinking that he was in the clear, Smokey let him know just what he thought of him.
Bowser, earlier I apologized to you for being a predator, and that was my mistake for calling you that. I should have never called you a predator. What I should have called you was a predatory groper, a pedophile.
They make fun of people. Reading Gates' message here. They make fun of people like us that are autistic and furry and into the My Little Pony stuff. There's nothing wrong with any of these things. It's just judgmental people. I will give you that. There's absolutely, as long as you're, first of all, of age, would be a great thing. If you're underage, I feel like those fears should exist for you. It's just obviously no sexualization of those fears. Spheres. Good Lord, I can't pronounce words tonight. I apologize. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, I could give a crap about your sexual, or you're not even sexual. It doesn't have to be sexual, but your alternative interests, if there's no bearing on my life. Like, I'm very much of that sphere. Like, if you're into all those things, great. I'm not. So, like, if you try to talk to me about that stuff, I'm obviously not going to have the greatest input. But, you know, as long as you're safe in what you're doing, and, you know, if it gets into that sexually charged area that you're of age, I really could care less. All I said was I was into My Little Pony. I didn't say I wanted to do anything with a pony as a real stretch. I wasn't trying to stretch that gay, by the way. I'm not trying to stretch what you're saying. I'm trying to say that I'm not judgmental when it comes to that stuff. As long as you're being safe and you're operating within the right spheres, I don't care. Like, there's people that are into that. I do want to, like, mention that because there is two sides to that thing, and that's kind of what I'm trying to state right here, is that there is a more fetishized side to all of those communities, and then there's also a non-fetishized, I apologize if I'm misusing that word, side to those communities. And I don't care which one you're in. I genuinely don't. I'm not trying to bash you. I hope you're not taking it that way, and I'm not trying to call you out personally gay at all. But I want to make sure that, like, people are understanding when they get into these things, and that kids, if they're into these things, are safeguarded. And I feel like the responsibility of that does not fall onto the child. It does not fall onto the awful people that are out there. It falls onto the parents' responsibility to make sure they're aware of what their kid's into. And I still think they should be supporting of it. And again, just safeguarding against making sure they're not going into areas that they shouldn't be, and that they're not seeing any wolves in sheep's clothing. The way I see it, I don't care what someone is into, as long as it isn't children or animals. People have the freedoms, as long as they aren't harming anybody. Have at it. Agreed. And, you know, even getting into the harm, like, there's things there that, like, if it's consensual amongst adults, have at it. Not my thing, but yeah, I would say as long as it's not an adult on child situation, adult on animal situation, or any combination thereof, other than adult on adult. If you fall into any of those things, I'm putting you in a box of, like, you're a individual, and I do not want to associate with you. You know, I might be judgmental in that aspect, and I apologize if that's how you see it, but I do agree with you there, Jim. See if it's consensual. I don't see it as harm. Malicious. Okay, yeah, malicious an element to it. Yeah, I would agree there. Like, if you're, you know, there's people that are into certain fantasizations of things involving non-consensual acts, like that stuff. Yeah, I also put that in that same box of, you know, the animals, the children, like, that's in that. You need to seek help, in my opinion.
A lot of things I could have.
He's a perfect example of someone that needs to seek help, in my opinion. He's not broached, as far as I know, aside from the movie theater incident, and I don't have a whole lot of information to really pass it an honest judgment on what happened there. From what I understand, he was over the age of 18, potentially up to, like, mid-20s, and she was 17. That's a little fucking creepy, if you ask me. If it was 17, 18, I could see it as, like, maybe less creepy, like more socially inept might be the best way to say it.
I've called you that I didn't call you, and
he's gone. He's
wow.
gone.
Bowser left the show, but he didn't block me, so it gave me hope we'd have a new episode next week. Everyone else believed the same, until I received a message directly from the White Bowser. Hello, Kiwi. As of today, I am blocking you on Discord, and the 110 Autism podcast is ending. I was visited today by a private investigator who had to take a report on how you and the trolls are trying your best to criminalize me.
See, and it goes into a huge statement you'll hear around the internet. If you've been on the internet for, I don't know, a minute or more, don't feed the trolls.
The investigator assured me I did nothing wrong and that you and the trolls have no life and no idea how the law works. This has officially gone too far.
This is another thing you'll see with the LOLCows. They feel like they have like this godlike understanding of the law and like what they can do.
You harassing...
And it's normally not correct, by the way. Oh my god, I just mega-sized that. Apologies.
Me is one thing. You harass the state and the law, that's another thing. Now, the police took a statement from me on the whole situation. If you trolls continue to harass the police, they will open a case against you. And Smokey, and you will be prosecuted. Especially Smokey. He has no idea what area he is treading into. Lying about accusations that will ruin someone's life and then bothering and harassing the police about it, I'd like to see what YouTube would say about that to Smokey and your YouTube channels.
So there, again, you know, taking that follow-up step of making threats against trolls, you're just whipping it up. Let's see what Gay's got to say when it's those trolls blow up Minecraft server. Yep.
I am not a pedophile, I am not a child predator, and now that the police are involved because of the trolls, this will be the end of our communication forever. The trolls officially ruined it, Kiwi, and the law is involved now. I was told I did nothing wrong, case open, case closed. The case will be reopened if the police keep getting harassed, then you and Smokey can kiss your YouTube careers goodbye. So with this, you are...
So again, he's treading into that life ruination thing here. He wants to get them off the internet. He feels like they're trolls, they need to go. Well, you can't do that. You know, especially within the United States, you got free speech, and the internet's pretty broadly unregulated for the most part in a lot of ways. I mean, there's obviously criminal acts that have been passed with certain parts of the internet, and you know, for the children and all that is how they passed it. I could get into that. There's like a couple different acts that came out through the Clinton era, I believe. But anyway, derailed a bit there. I apologize. Yeah, I don't agree with the whole life ruination that he feels like he's entitled to almost right here. And he's basically saying, I am not a pedophile, I am not a child predator. And laying it out there saying that the police have absolved him of that.
We're blocked, Kiwi. This is the end of our communication. Bowser was not joking. Right after this, he blocked me. Not even...
This scene comes from his apology video, by the way, where he specifically chose to dress up like a Catholic priest. I think they're priests in Catholicism. I know each group has different clergy and what they call that clergy and all that.
And letting me respond. After this, he would go on a campaign of slander and misinformation against Smokey, and to a much smaller degree, myself. This would also be the beginning of Earl making his so-called apology videos. That every time would have the opposite effect of an apology. Earl might have been busy, but I promise you, the people looking into him were busier, uncovering new things by the day. This is when Smokey and myself had an idea of our own. We would start our own show and do it at the exact same time as the old one, so that way we knew Bowser was free and that he can join whenever he was ready to come back.
And hence the birth of Too High for Stupid.
That was the birth of Too High for Stupid, a show that me and Smokey still run every Saturday at 6:30 Eastern Time. And for our very first episode, we had something special in the works. Someone had told Earl that the apology videos he had been making were working, and me and Smokey wanted to watch one with him so that we could prove to the whole community Bowser had changed. I have no idea why, but he agreed and joined for the very first episode of Too High for Stupid. What ensued was another hour and a half of Earl being interrogated.
Yeah, Bowser.
Again, main character syndrome have to be in there.
I just want you to know, like, you saying that you're falsely reporting my channel is against TOS as well.
You're using your audience against me.
I'm not
That's
using
against-
anything against you, Bowser. I'm telling the complete God's honest truth about you, and you're just mad about it, so you want to get my channel taken down. You know that's fucking against all the rules and shit. You wanna
Smoke.
This touches on something that I feel like is severely misunderstood in the whole YouTube sphere, by the way. Understanding Nick DiOrio did a fantastic job. At one point, I'd have to try and find it. It'd take me a bit to dig up. But explaining how YouTube actually falls under a safe harbor thing. Same with TikTok, I believe, falls under safe harbor, where they have these systems in place because they have to give you access to these systems, but they do not actually, in any way, shape, or form, do anything other than the base level of what's legally required of them. So like when you get into terms of service, that is a YouTube thing. When you get into copyright, that is a system that has to be available that YouTube has next to no control over. Now, obviously, if you're in the YouTube sphere a little bit, you would know that a terms of service thing, strike against you is a lot less severe in most cases than a copyright strike. Copyright strike can actually go to a legal process and to a lawsuit. But yeah, just the best way to think about it is YouTube is hands-on for TOS. YouTube is hands-off when it comes to anything involving copyright. It's just, they have a legal standard that they have to meet, and that's about it.
Okay, you're violating TOS right
Bowser,
now.
you're a predator. You're a predator.
No,
Hey,
I'm
let's
not.
keep this civil.
No, I'm not.
Now, Bowser, you're a predator.
No, I'm
You
not.
admittedly groped that girl. You said you did it.
I am not a predator.
You're a predator.
Why did you make this video on Smokey, White Bowser's? Do you believe that he's using it?
Something that struck me odd here. He doesn't sit there and adamantly say I didn't grope her. Like, that would be my initial thing if that wasn't the case. You get angry, like, I didn't do this, like, and he doesn't even give that pushback. Now, it could be because he's kind of fatigued because he's done that argument so many times, but just the fact that, like, when he's called on it now, to, like, just walk over it and pretend like it wasn't a statement.
His audience against you?
I do, yes.
How?
Because you have no control over your audience, and you
You're
take
right.
zero
I don't. They do what they want to do.
You take zero accountability for their actions.
Bowser, I'm not responsible for the people who watch my videos' actions. They
Yes,
watch
you
my-
are. You cannot enforce it.
And see, this is where Bowser thinks that YouTubers are responsible for their audience. Again, I'm not responsible for any of you folk. I don't take responsibility for any of you folk. If you want to go out there and do some insane Joker type actions on somebody, I will inform the police and do all that I can to stop you. That's what I believe is in my power and within my my scope. But as far as like what other actions you take, as far as like whenever you click out of this video or click out of this stream, that's on you. You are your own. You are capable of handling your own domain.
And you cannot enforce cyberbullying, Smokey. You
Bowser,
cannot enforce.
I've told everybody that I don't want nobody to mess with you. Is that good enough? Because what do you want me to do if someone looks at that video and says, "Man, this Bowser guy is a fucking creep"?
Exactly. So Smokey lays it out right. He can't control like you guys watching this. If you think Bowser's a creep and you go out there and you start digging him up, I can't control that. I would say don't do that. I don't want anybody harassing anybody. I'm just here to mainly give you the information.
And they just decide, "Hey, I'm going to write this White Bowser and say something mean to him." That's not mine. That you can't blame me for that. That's the same way you're trying to blame Cow Wrangler for having to double up on your medicine. That's on you, and that's on them.
Yeah, let's get into that. What is the you've been doubling up on your medicine, Earl?
No,
Okay, so lie about that.
My medication was increased, but I've never been doubling up on it. Smokey, you're full of shit. Okay?
If I'm not full of shit, Bowser,
yes, you are. You are full of shit.
Bowser, we can.
You are full of shit. I am not a pedophile. I am not a predator.
You're a predator. You are.
I do not have to deal with your crap. You sick, depraved,
The loudest person in the room is not always right.
degenerate. I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
No, we have to hold up.
After Bowser left the panel, we would not see him again for a very long time. But that didn't mean others had not only gotten in contact with him, but were digging up new information. A channel called The Black Bowser had convinced Earl that they were internet reporters, and that they wanted an interview about the bullying he had endured.
Oh, I thought this was pretty interesting how these guys handled this. So obviously you've got the incited, like, I don't want to say retaliatory, but kind of kind of floats along that retaliatory level. So these guys approach the whole thing and basically pretend to be journalists of some sort and to conduct an actual interview on Bowser.
In the last couple months, Earl didn't ask who they were with. In fact, he didn't ask them anything. He just agreed. And during this interview, he said something horrifying.
No, I feel this segues great into what we'd like to discuss next.
Okay, go ahead.
The,
Go ahead.
the liquid Chris stream from the other night, where
Mhm.
he made allegations of you like presenting cartoon porn to minors. Actually, these are just allegations.
Mhm.
But we do have some questions regarding it.
Okay.
In this secret server, or this alleged secret server. I apologize.
It's not a secret server. It's a Discord server. It's an anime Discord server. And here's something I want to clear up for the audience in general here. I quite clearly cannot be a pedophile if I own a Discord server with minors in it who I do not prey upon, who I only converse and talk. You guys have to understand something. If you're going to label someone as a pedophile just because they talk to kids in a private Discord server, that's like labeling any public school teacher as a pedophile in the same way because they're in a classroom with a bunch of kids. You know what I mean?
Now, I want to focus on something here. You got a kid, male, female, whatever. You got a kid. They're online. They're on their phone. And they're in this Discord server with this person. And they're conversing with your child. Are you going to be okay with that? I think that's really what you need to focus on here.
You can't make that correlation. All I'm doing is talking to these minors about school. Sometimes I play chess with them. We have a chess chess channel on our anime Discord server.
By the way, I think it's hilarious. He sounds like Porky the Pig right there.
Well, and we talk about One Piece primarily, and Attack on Titan, and even Chainsaw Man came up lately in the anime Discord server too. So and sometimes I talk with these kids about school. So I'm not doing anything illegal with these kids. I'm just.
And this is the thing that you'll see as a common, like platitude that they offer to people when they're confronted with this stuff. I was just there helping. I want to make sure they're not in danger. I'm trying to do the right thing.
Talking with them. That's what.
Oh, we got a new subscriber. Thank you. Thank you so much.
A teacher does in a classroom, basically. So you can't call me a predator.
All right. Okay. So basically, my question was from the beginning. Were there minors in your server? So.
And I said yes, there were.
All right.
There are allegations. I'm seeing a lot of that you streamed hentai in this server. What's that about? Did you do this?
Only once.
I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words. Only once. Let's go back. I just want to. I apologize. I don't like doing this a whole lot because I feel like it's a little over dramatized, but just to take this in.
I'm seeing a lot of that you streamed hentai in this server. What's that about? Did you do this?
Only once.
Yeah, Jim, a 30-year-old man has no business regularly talking to minors that he isn't related to. Exactly. Especially showing, like, again, are you comfortable? You have a child online in a Discord server interacting with this gentleman, and he's now showing your child, potentially, porn. There's no way around it, man. That literally, go out and look it up. It's X-rated anime.
A server with over 1,000 members. Not a crime in and of itself, but what was going on there was a different story. See, the Discord contained many minors, the lowest being confirmed at 14. We know this because every person in the server had a tag displaying their age. As I said previously, Bowser owned this server, running it under the name Daddy Butcher.
Oh yeah, I would hope so, Jim. I would hope any parent would be absolutely furious. not necessarily even at the kid, because the kid doesn't necessarily know what they're doing wrong. Like, especially at a young age like that. I mean, they've got some awareness, but yeah, I'd be absolutely like, finding trees and rope and rickety stools.
During this interview, he talked about how him and his team of mods would reward these children by showing them illicit materials if they finished their homework. Many of these images
So that was a prize that he offered. If you do your homework, I'll show you X-rated anime content.
They're including gore or sex.
Oh, and gore, which there's a whole thing I have with. You should not be exposing kids to that stuff, first of all. I believe that I've got some undiagnosed like PTSD and stuff from not necessarily seeing gore, but going back to what I said previously, I was a young kid when 9/11 happened. There's a lot of mental gymnastics to wrap my mind around that the next day when the wind shifted and everything blew towards my location, that I was breathing in, building and plane and paper and printers and computers and people. Like, that's psychologically, like, screws with a kid. So I don't understand how you can float in any way, shape, or form putting this not under the animal-esque grooming that, like, it's a reward for if you do your homework, you get to see this X-rated content or this gore content. I'm terrified for a few minutes of my kids to go online. Maybe I'm overly sensitive, being in a LOLCow and community. But yeah, I would absolutely be worried. I think, Jim, if you're conscientious of what they're doing, especially if you've got an awareness of what to look out for, I think you'll be fine.
Earl was heavily involved in these activities, stating on numerous occasions that he sent some of this NSFW content to children. He would also tell us how he caught one of his mods grooming a member of the server, and he did nothing about it.
Yeah, Mr. Nobility here.
The Discord revelations would be damning for Bowser. The almost shameless view of the whole situation really irked the public, and realizing this, he cut off contact with almost everyone, spending the next couple months making video diaries and playing Genshin Impact, all while me and Smokey were continuing to put on Too High for Stupid every Saturday, trying to get Earl to return. Getting close, but never quite there, until eventually we expected he would never be back on the show, but boy were we wrong. It was the beginning of May.
Now we get into the clown. This is, okay, by far to me, this is one of the funniest tangential arcs that a LOLCow has ever done, because he blows this so far out of proportion.
2023, and Earl's birthday was coming up. Being as everyone knew where he lived, someone decided they would send him a birthday clown to cheer him up. The birthday clown had received specific instructions to live stream the whole encounter. The clown was not in on this. He thought that he was hired by a long-distance friend to cheer up a buddy who was depressed. And as the unknowing clown knocks on the door with a huge smile on his face, something completely unexpected happens.
Okay, so here we go. This pay attention right here, because you need to pay attention to this and link it with the wording that he gives in a little bit for what happens here.
Go ahead and speak, sir.
Hey, happy birthday! We just want to say happy birthday.
What? She just closed and locked the door.
Earl's mom almost immediately slammed the door in the birthday clown's face and promptly locked it behind her. This is the first and only glimpse of his mother to date. When Bowser was told exactly what had happened from his mother, he decided to unblock both me and Smokey to send us the same message. Hey look, I've come to deliver a message.
So pay attention. You now see in the clown video, this message is epic.
Same one to Smokey and Kiwi. Your people are coming to my house now. People or strangers with face paint and worse coming to my house and harassing my mother. This is no longer funny.
Happy birthday is harassment
anymore. It is no longer a prank. Real people are in danger here. I don't think you want blood on your hands. You are internet trolls.
Fucking call it for blood on your hands.
Clearly, but you don't want people dead, do you? My mother was lucky enough that they only had a cell phone on them this time. Next
This is why they're LOLCows.
time they could have a gun or a knife on them. Next time my mother might have her life put in danger when they are at my door.
This was a clown. Remind you, this is a birthday clown. And I did I say, hey, happy birthday.
This is a warning. I have told the police to make frequent checks at my house crossroads. If people show up to my door again just to scare me, they will be arrested and they will be prosecuted.
This guy's acting like his house is now like Camp David.
And if you are found to be in league with them, you will be punished severely. This all started with your false accusations about pedophilia, Smokey. Now, I have made mistakes. I groped a woman by accident. I showed hentai to teenagers. Yeah.
But he's not a pedophile.
I know it is messed up. You can call me a degenerate all you want for that, but once my mother's life is in danger, you cross the line. I have never...
Don't you ever send a clown to my house to wish me happy birthday again. My mom, she's traumatized. Gotta take her to therapy now.
Groomed kids and never preyed upon minors. I am not a pedophile. And now that my mother is being harassed by your gang, I am done playing around.
So mind you, he's like stuck on this little like textbook definition of these words.
So if you don't want people to get hurt or worse, realize this. This is no longer funny. It is no longer some sort of sick...
I showed porn to kids and accidentally committed sexual assault, but like, clowns aren't. That's fucking great, Jib.
Prank. My life and my mother's life were put in danger.
My life and my mother's life were put in danger. I'm sorry. This is literally why they're LOLCows. Look at this overreaction to a birthday clown. This dude wrote a book. He had to go to a publishing house just to get this tweet out there.
Yesterday. If you have any sort of conscience, you will end this charade and stop the madness. I know you're an asshole, and my psychiatrist and I agree that you're a dipshit.
Like Smokey or Kiwi are going to be like, oh, the psychiatrist called this out. We gotta stop.
But you do not want people's blood on your hands. I have my doubts, but if you are full-blown psychopaths, then I still don't think you want any of this. And I do not want my mother's life or my house put in danger. Now please, for your own sake, come forward, tell the truth, and stop putting my life and my mother's life in danger.
Hold on here, we got another message from Gay over her. And hey, look at that, I was able to locate my mouse. It's because they're trolls. I tried to explain to them that, biblically speaking, Adam is presented with animals. It was Eve. Well, you know what, Gay? I'm just going to say that that can be your belief. I don't care if that's your belief. Great, run with it. It's not. I'm pretty agnostic, so I'm not gonna feed into the whole religious side of this. I'm aware of religious side of this. I grew up in I would say, like, I like this term that I learned. I was a CEO of a religious family. What is a CEO of a religious family, you ask? Christmas and Easter only. So that was pretty much the extent of me growing up in any sort of a religious household. I think I went to Sunday school for like maybe a summer or something. I don't know, but it wasn't really like strictly enforced, but I'm aware of it because I also live in like the Bible Belt semi, not like, the thumper level, but pretty close. Okay, man, dominion over everything on earth, including animals. Cannot say it. Hey, gay Illuminati, you know what? If that's your belief, again, I'm in support of you having your belief. Sad thing is, like, part of what he says is kind of true. Yeah. People might literally try to go... And yeah, it's full vigilante and that it's a high concern. But yeah, again, to act like the clown was a threat, it definitely was not. It was a troll. It's literally, like, as Gay is saying, it's a troll. Yes, obviously the information's out there, like you're saying, Jim. This could lead to something down the road. I think this is where you see a lot of LOLCows kind of make this weird misstep, and they all seem to do the same misstep. In where, like, a good example. And I do not classify this person as a LOLCow. I think they've made quite a successful career out of it, but they really skirted close. Like, they went down in hard incline, okay? Ice Poseidon, okay? Ice Poseidon got to the point where he was swatted on an airplane. Like, he had trolls that bad. Now you look at him, he's very successful. He owns his own streaming service, basically, the IP2 community. He's got a lot of streamers over there. He's got a lot of controversy, and he's done a lot of original ideas and, like, really grown that whole sphere, and he was the pop out of that whole freaking thing. But he was also facing a lot of these same situations with trolls and actual swatting, not a clown coming up saying happy birthday, which I very clearly am placing those in different bins. I think that, you know, if you want to see how to properly handle things, look at what Ice Poseidon did to go from where he was to where he is now. Another good example, a good hang around of Ice Poseidon, Sam Pepper. Sam Pepper had a lot of flack, and he was able to, you know, kind of turn it all around. Maybe not, they're not going to shake what they had on them, but there's a way to move forward properly. Then you look at things like, you know, Christian, there's the famous thing where the father, you know, I want all the information about my house off the internet now. Not going to happen. You know, there's a lot of older folk, especially. You get into Cyrex, his family, it's older folk. They don't understand that you can't, like, safeguard like this. It's not like back in the day. Oh, I feel like I'm going to date myself a little here, but back in the day, you used to get actual hard copy phone books, which were fantastic, by the way, for, like, menus in the area for little restaurants if you were trying to figure something out to eat. Side. But everybody was in the phone book. Your first name, your last name, typically your phone number and a street address, maybe a zip code, just listed alphabetically. So if in this case I knew Earl and I knew the area, I could pull up the phone book and pull all the information about him. You used to pay to take that stuff. You could go what's called unlisted, to where you would actually pay them money to remove your information from the phone book. So then that information is not getting out there to them, to anybody, right? So they don't have this publication. So, where was I going with this? It's different now with the internet, and older people might not understand that, to where you can't, like, just pay to get your information taken off the internet. Once it's out there and you've been doxxed and everything's out there, you're at the mercy of how you handle things next. I wonder. Okay, Gay, that's freaking off the wall, but all right. Gay was like, I wonder what a chicken would look like in some laundry. All right. I remember you had contacted them to get your name removed or an abbreviation out of the phone book. We did it all the time because we didn't want our name out there. Okay, so yeah, Jim, you can relate to kind of what I'm saying there. It's just the older generation just doesn't totally understand that, you know, you can't do that. And then we got a nice little response here from Good Banana sitting to Gay's chicken comment there. It sounds tasty. I wonder what it looked like in a 12-piece bucket. You guys are funny.
I am blocking you again. This is a warning, and the police will be watching my house very closely and frequently. Again, blaming both of us for the...
Exactly, Jim. Yeah, it's just one of those things, you know, it isn't the white pages anymore. When you're out there, you're out there. A lot of people don't... I don't know. I kind of operate under the understanding that all my information is out there. I'm sure I've gotten picked up by a card skimmer. I'm sure I've gotten, you know, fished or something along the lines. I mean, I've been on the internet for 2023. Well, yeah. Probably in late 90s. I was definitely dial-up generation. I remember, like, Napster and Kazaa and all that, so I'm dating myself a little bit there. I remember downloading Linkin Park songs like Crawling and Numb when they first premiered, and it took me like a day or two to actually get the song just because of how long things took back then. But yeah, like I assume in all the time that I've spent in and around the internet, yeah, you could go out and you could find that information and put it together on me probably relatively easy. There's also sites now where you actually do the opposite, and people don't realize it's not that hard. You know, you get a first name, you get a last name. I know an approximate age on you. There's people search tools and stuff out there that I could go pay like $20, get all your information, you know, potential phone numbers, house addresses, legal cases and stuff. And it's all public domain information. Now, if you drop that information in these spheres, that's where you tread into doxing. It's not illegal to go and obtain the information, though. It's just how you share it, especially whether it's maliciously. All right, we got one more comment here. It's like what Medicare said. He knew he would probably eventually get doxxed. I don't know when it'll happen, but it will. Today, you can't ever believe fully anon. Yeah, you cannot be fully anon. Correct. All right, I'm going to play it on this.
Actions of others, and again blocking us before we could respond. At this point, almost every aspect of his personal life was available on the internet. People knew where he lived, people knew where he worked, and people knew the location of his greatest sins. People were more than happy to tell his church and his job everything that he had done on.
See, this is the side of, like, trolling I'm not a fan of. I don't believe, like, the whole life ruination thing. I think if you're trying to go that tactic, you probably should be talking to the police.
Online and in the past. They would also tell the police, who would frequently be called to Earl's house for wellness checks. At this point,
And see, that's also abuse of the system there, and I don't agree with that, with, you know, over-calling the police. It literally is. I'm contradicting myself left and right here, I feel like. But, you know, it's hard to explain. But for me, if I had information showing, like, hey, this person is committing a crime potentially, as far as I'm aware, and I alert the police and they're like, nope, he's good, that's all you can do. I don't believe in then proceeding to pester the police to come out and perform wellness checks on this individual.
Bowser was
that's abuse of the system. I don't like that, because then you're taking services away from people who need them.
Really feeling the heat, and he'd do almost anything to take some of it off. He closed his Discord server full of grooming and minors. He also makes another terrible apology video where he continues to insult and dox his victim. We were able to convince Bowser that this was another one of those videos.
I've seen this apology video, and it is really bad.
That had changed the public's mind, and they wanted to hear the truth from him directly. He agreed, thinking that he was on the right track to being
Exactly, yeah. There is the fun side of trolling, Jim, you know, like with Cobra. I remember, like, I don't know if this is still a big kick with him, but, like, yeah, he would get, like, these Subway where it's just the bread and the sauces, or it's all veggie, and he's not a veggie person.
Forgiven. And during the 12th episode of Too High for Stupid, Bowser would continue to dig his hole deeper.
I said I wanted to solve, like, yesterday was really stressful. Yesterday was very, very stressful for me, very stressful. So I just wanted to chill and play chess today, but if you just want to solve this within 30 minutes so I can get back to chess, that's fine.
What has your life been like recently? Just describe it to everybody.
I've been stressed with the harassment. I have. I haven't liked the harassment. No, I haven't. I mean, the packages are fine and all, but
can we talk about the packages and stuff? Bro, I heard people been sending you some crazy shit.
I guess.
Like, I heard people been sending you ceiling fans.
No, I have not got a ceiling fan.
Really? I heard. Yeah, I've been hearing rumors of people been sending you ceiling fans. I thought that was really, really wrong.
No. Okay. I mean, a few days ago, I got a satanic booklet shit kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That server was also horribly moderated. I didn't even support.
No kidding.
I didn't even support half the stuff that the teenagers or kids.
You own the server. You literally can shut it down at any point in time.
It's posted in that server.
Oh, he's gonna pull some stuff here. I forgot. And like, I talk about victim blaming. You'll see.
Then why did you own it? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Because it was given to me.
But it's like, why would you want to be associated with that?
The original owner of the server gave the server to me to own, and I I probably should have
I
declined
see.
it.
There's a whole lot to explain. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a point on the server where I gave someone a warning for posting anime gore, and I took down the post, and then I gave that person a warning, and I said, listen, here's what we post on the server. Boom, ecchi, boom, anime ecchi. This is what we post on the server. We don't post nude gore, and I got really mad about that because I didn't appreciate that being posted on the server.
Okay, so I understand because like you're saying it's the gore. That's because I know there were pictures. Like people had screenshots of people sending like actual nudity and all that. So that was like,
okay, but those were just cartoons.
That's a bad. Like, really pay attention there.
I understand because like you're saying it's the gore. That's because I know there were pictures. Like people had screenshots of people sending like actual nudity and all that. So that was like,
okay, but those were just cartoons.
Did you catch what he just admitted to right there? He said, I got people with screenshots showing that you sent nudity. And he's like, well, they were just cartoons.
I know, that's a meme now. One of the...
And that was becoming a meme at this point of him, just because he's used that phrasing.
One of the horny teenagers in the anime server. And I was so...
Get ready for a onslaught of victim blaming here.
Pissed off when he shared it in the server. He posted AI art generated server. I immediately took it down. I immediately deleted it, and I immediately banned him from the server. And then after that, I posted that image right there. But like I was so pissed off when that person did that in the anime. You have to understand, these were all horny, stupid teenagers. They were stupid, and they really didn't know what they were doing.
Is that enough victim blaming for you yet? And we got Jim out there, bros, out here complaining about a personal server. It's poorly moderated, and he's the admin, literally has the most power to moderate. Exactly.
I could not.
And you know what's really funny is he admits that, like, obviously he knows how to use these functions because he just admitted to it with all the victim blaming there.
Tell you why, but Bowser agreed to return the very next week because he was going to make another apology video, this time discussing all of the Discord revelations.
So we're up to apology video number 3, by the way.
And Bowser would return next week, but not for anything regarding the Discord he owned. Another massive piece of information had been uncovered. This information had Earl so scared he was practically begging to come on our show and explain himself. You see, someone had contacted the coworker that the White Bowser had groped. They were able to find her because Earl had used not only her full legal name, but her sister's full legal name throughout his videos dozens of times.
Yep, he did that several times in the apology.
And after getting in contact with his victim, she would reveal that at the time, she was 17 years old. Earl was 28 at the time.
Okay, so there we go. You got a 10-year age gap, roughly. Being courteous. A 10-year age gap, 17 to 28. And again, that 5-second pause, count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's roughly... I can keep spazzing out and doing that. That's roughly how long it was that he had his hand on her chest. That's not like you've got to literally mentally be aware of your hand placement in that duration of time. And Jim said, again, this is what happens when you have a server full of minors and why it's a bad idea to do that. Exactly. I strongly am an advocate for if there's a way to safely and securely ID people to where you could have this content. And I'm still a Discord newbie. I might be an idiot, but if there was a way to verify an age, kind of like my ID and all that stuff, then you know what, go for it if that's your thing. But I still wouldn't do it.
When
people use Discord as a freaking dating app, basically, and it's awful.
Told Earl that we were going to reveal all of this information on the next episode of Too High for Stupid, he was more than happy to join us. And during episode 13, he continued the pattern of incriminating himself.
Get this, everyone. I was lied to on multiple occasions. If you guys all remember, the twin sister of the sister who the accidental groping that I did on one of the girls, her twin sister lied to me.
Here's something that, like, it just struck me as weird. Like, listen to how he says this. It almost sounds like there's maybe multiple things happened here.
Of the sister who the accidental groping that I did on one of the girls,
It's that of one of the girls, like, statement. I don't know why, it just strikes me as weird there. It literally acts like an anime where it's like, ooh, sorry for grabbing your chest. It's like some sort of fan service joke, exactly, and Jim, on the point.
Her twin sister lied to me on multiple occasions about her age. And I can't say for certain if she did this because she was infatuated with me or not. You guys might remember the...
Again, listen to this victim blaming here. This is top tier victim blaming.
You guys might remember the confession video I made. I said that one of my coworkers, the twin sister of the sister who I assaulted, I thought she had a crush on me, but before the accident.
So he's trying to justify his action right there by saying, "Oh, I thought she had a crush or was infatuated with me, so it's okay to leave my hand parked on her chest."
And she certainly acted like it. There was gossip in the workplace around the time. There was a lot of gossip in the
He's literally trudging into "she's asking for it" territory.
Workplace all the time, and that's why I assumed it. But she lied to me on multiple occasions about her age, and it were those lies. It were those lies that led me to believe that her and her sister were at or above the age of 18. And it turns out, no, that was wrong. And I am now more ashamed than ever to hear the truth come out. A truth I never knew. So, no, it turns out that, I'll say it, no, it turns out I grew up to minor.
Boom. Back it up. Time to go, boys.
Well, I think someone from your past is here, Earl.
All right, here he is.
I'm gonna mute.
The Wrangler.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go.
I don't even know where to start with you, Earl. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
like,
no, say your piece, dude. Say your piece.
My piece is that at first I thought that you're just kind of a piece of shit, but maybe it'd be one of those things where it's only surface level. But it seems like the deeper we go and we look at you, the worse it gets. It's like every time, just as people are about to go and forget about you, something way worse comes out. I mean, really, man. Really. 17.
I had no idea.
Okay, why does that... that doesn't even really matter as much as 5 seconds of touching her and just sitting there like a dumbass. You keep dropping doxes on random people who are involved with the situation, who are just trying to live their regular lives.
I'm done dropping doxes.
Okay, but you did it beforehand, and you're only upset now because you're getting in trouble for it. People are saying, hey, that's kind of fucked up. Maybe you shouldn't bring up these random people when you're being looked at as, like, a pedophile. It's a little rough, buddy. It's a little rough.
No, you're right. It's rough. You really are being very aggressive right now. I don't appreciate that.
I don't like pedophiles. That is why.
I'm not a pedophile. I've done.
You are a pedophile.
No, I am not.
We've established that you are. You even said that you have pedophilic tendencies.
Yeah,
so,
but I'm not...
Bowser, can I ask you a question?
Did you hear that? You even said you had pedophilic tendencies. Yup.
I'm not attracted to kids.
Bowser, that other Discord server you had, were any of the other quote-unquote daddies caught talking to the minors or anything?
Yeah, and I had to stop them.
But they were.
Yeah, I had to stop them, yeah.
So you said, right, that you're not the only quote-unquote daddy in the server with the minors.
He just doesn't, like, conceptually grasp that he's fostering this environment.
But there are other people in there who have the same label as you were caught talking to the minors in a sexual way.
And I had to stop them, yes.
But like Cow Wrangler just brought up, you said you were rarely in there.
Well, there were...
Which way is it?
Sometimes when I had to put a stop to some of the kids, some of the adults flirting with some of the kids, yes.
Because you made an environment where that felt appropriate.
That's why I deleted the server.
No, you deleted it because you were caught.
Earl, when this started, all I thought you were was a guy who, I knew you were a guy who groped a girl, and from the jump, I always thought you were a pedophile. And as this has gone on, more and more evidence, seemingly by the week, has come out to further, harden that stance. This is this is...
Yeah, it's not healthy for me.
Healthy? It's not healthy for your victims.
It's always the me.
I'm not going to hurt anyone ever again.
I don't trust that for a second, bro. I don't trust that for a goddamn second.
I don't want to hurt anyone.
Well, you can start by not dragging people's names across the internet, because I know that the young lady who you did
Assault as a minor is probably very upset that she has to
No.
relive this whole situation over and over again because you doxed her full name.
That's another thing, Kiwi. Remember, you said that she apologized to you. And those texts that someone got with her, bro, she did not apologize to you. She wants nothing to do with you. She's even thinking about filing a restraining order. And you tried to come on here and say everything's water under the bridge. You keep saying it's the movie theater's fault. It's her sister's fault. Cow Wrangler, every time they brought up something, you tried to trail it off onto another topic. You do this all the time, Bowser. And that's why...
I really don't want to be here anymore.
Bowser, maybe you don't want to be here, but the fact of the matter is this, bro. We got donations to read, so you better sit your ass right there.
No, I'm leaving.
No,
We got
Bowser,
tons of
Bowser,
donos to
Bowser,
read.
Wow.
It only...
Let's see, we got a couple messages here from Jim giving all the stuff around him. Move this so I can see it, and I look like I'm looking at the camera, at least this way. Given everything around him, and by his own admission, his tendencies, a person can easily come to the conclusion that he's a PDF, and there's enough to back that opinion. Absolutely. That's kind of why I wanted to go over this. I thought this was a hell of a bombshell story that they uncovered. It's like when Romeo tried to sue Keemstar. There's enough info to come to that opinion reasonably. Yep.
It took him an hour and a half of interrogation by not only me and Smokey, but Cow Wrangler and Zippy for Earl to realize just what was going on. Defeated, he left the show, to go right back to his old habit of playing video games and making terrible apology videos, but this time with a whole different tune.
Like, if you think you're... I'm sorry. You think... sorry. You think you'll find validation, like you think you're some sort of vigilante. You are surrounding yourself with the most negative and the most abhorrent of acts. And then you find joy in it. All I can feel from this experience about talking about pedophiles, all I can feel is disgust. All I can feel is an absolute sick taste in my mouth. Meanwhile, I look at Joe Schmo.
That's called regret, buddy. That's what you're tasting.
Over here, and he's like having the time of his life insulting pedophiles and predators. Me, I can't even bear to look the same way. I want to run away. I want to run away.
It's because of the guilt and stuff, buddy. That's how it appears anyway.
From it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to spend my time or my energy finding joy in being a vigilante on the internet. No, I don't laugh about it. I don't cry about it. I run away from it. Just talk. You see? Do you hear me right now?
That's not a reasonable conclusion for anybody who is innocent of stuff. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can get into, especially if you're into the whole law and crime stuff about like how guilty people act versus how innocent people act. And I'm sorry, but I feel like you're falling in the former rather than the latter.
Just talking about all this, just talking about all this stupid shit puts me in sick pain. It makes me so sick.
Woe is me.
It makes me sick. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. It makes me sick talking about this sick shit. About the anime Discord server, there are some people on there you should know about. The first person you should know about is Hazar, hashtag 1636. He was the original owner of the server, the original one who created the NSFW channel there, the one who transferred the ownership to me, and he was also the one who propagated the spread of anime NSFW content on the server, or hentai for that matter. Now, I am also guilty of showing hentai on that server.
And that's where we leave the story today, folks. The White Bowser was uncovered to be what he truly was. A 30-year-old man who showed NSFW content to minors, owned a Discord server where grooming actively happened, and groped his underage coworker. He may have changed his name to Night from Afar, but no matter how far he runs, he cannot hide from the truth.
Stop. Okay, so there we go. We went over the whole White Bowser story. Hopefully that gets a little more information out there for people, and so they're a little more aware of, this LOLCow that kind of speed ran the whole LOLCow thing. Again, if you're looking to listen to the content that was covered in the video, it would be these Blue 110 episodes that originally, and then there is a episode 9/11. I think it's this episode. White Bowser calls back. Let's see. I think they have it. Oh, right here. So those blue episodes and then this kind of gets you the whole thing if you really want to listen to it in detail without the cuts. And then they've been perpetually doing the Too High for Stupid. There is a couple other content or pieces of content that I would like to cover. Let's see what we're at. Done 2 hours. You know what? Let's see what we got. I'm gonna drop this one off the list, but I highly recommend going to Kiwi Tapes, checking this out. This is another LOLCow that's been floating around for a long time. Actually has some ties to Keemstar, and this goes back to Kid Behind the Camera and Angry Grandpa. I don't know if necessarily we're around. This have been more early YouTube. I think even Vine, where Angry Grandpa was a big thing, and then Kid Behind the Camera is his son, and he's the one that filmed all the Angry Grandpa stuff. Well, this can't trust any of them. They call everybody cows. Well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully they don't call you a cow there, gay. I've not seen anything to call you that so far. I mean, you got some different opinions from me, and that's totally fine. But this goes back to the whole Angry Grandpa stuff. It's really, 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 really interesting. I will say, if you have any aversion to especially physical abuse, he does some really bad things when we get later on in the video. He's also commits kind of an adult abuse, financial abuse. So really interesting story. Please go check that one out. So let's get rid of a couple things here. We went over the White Bowser story. We have Kiwi Tapes channel. I kind of would love to point out a couple really good ones. The ones I kind of spotted and watched are really interesting. World T-shirts, very heavily autistic gentleman. More of that kind of content. Felix Cypher is kind of just an interesting one. Shanny and Rev, I'm not really in support of. I think they're just awful people, and I think they are finally off the internet. I think Rev got on disability, Shanny's on disability, and they're calling it good. Donovan Mayo, this was he's kind of tangentially related to the Dream community. That was an interesting one to watch. He interacts with a minor. Bossman Jack is a really interesting one. Another TikTok. Oh, this is Nova Online. We're gonna watch. I really want to introduce everybody to that one. Alex Tehran. Tehran's a really, really interesting one. He's kind of just a vagrant, I guess would be the best way to say. Bossman Jack definitely was an interesting one. You want to talk about a man-child? That's a fun one to watch. But I want to touch on the Nova one. We're not going to do both. There is this more recent video from 2 weeks ago. With the one I'm going to touch on is way down here. Nova Online right here. We're going to get this is from 5 months ago. Like I said, I don't mind showing their content that's older, because I don't feel like I'm stealing from them as badly. Again, I really support, going and checking out all their videos, all their content. We covered Jupiter, so we already did that. Another interesting one if you want to look into it. There's one specific one that I wanted to point out before we started this story. Cyrex to Pikachu. Cyrex, the White Bowser. This is another good video to watch if you're interested in White Bowser content that we just covered. Smokey's video here. Christian updates, DSP stuff. Man, Smokey's got a lot of content. Wings of Redemption. I feel like I bought a chair from Wings of Redemption, the way my chair squeaks sometimes. A lot of the Chris Chan stuff. Some Wings stuff. Isabella Janke's a really interesting one. I think we're at the bottom here. And Isabella Janke's another really interesting one. Any of these meet the LOLCows? Oh, this one. Jonathan Ross. Someone who's phased out of the community, and then I know it's not related, but I don't know why they have never really, and it could be because of a language barrier here. Germany. I can't remember this dude's name ever. This guy. Dragon Lord. This guy, you want to talk about like trolls and going to the Smokey does have a good one on Chibi. You want to talk about trolls and taking things to the extreme. You ever want to watch a really good documentary, interesting stuff from around the internet, from around the world? Is another LOLCow kind of hunter, in my opinion. Dragon Lord is a rabbit hole. This would be like the extremes of trolling, and as well as like man-child syndrome, like a real classic LOLCow. This actually I watched earlier today. It has even some of the update stuff with about him being homeless at one point, living out of a car, and even he had a whole country against him at one point. Seriously fun rabbit hole to look down. Genuinely awful person. Yeah. The town actually buying the house just to demolish it, just to get people to stop. There's a whole. I don't want to say it like missay it like a riot or anything, but they had like this weird pilgrimage at one point that like happened in the town, and like all these trolls showed up. It's just insane. So let's close that out. Buddy Haynes is another good one. Does anybody out there that's wanting to become aware of like just people on TikTok? Any of these TikTok creators? Everything all right there, gay? Any of these TikTok creator videos that Smokey's done? Good digs to give you an idea of the people that are out there on TikTok, just to be aware. So let's go from there. I don't need you. All right, let's watch this last video, and then we'll kind of call it quits. Maybe have a little discussion here.
Nova Online.
The Nova haters have just struck on a full-on cyber war against the Nova Stars. Those are clearly effing photoshopped. I will not stand for this, Nova Stars. I'm at my breaking point.
I don't know if they're necessarily coming for autistic people. I feel like that might be a little too much there, gay, but I can see your point. I can see it.
Effing trolls who have nothing else better to do!
Gabriel Gage, also known as Nova Online, is a 19-year-old TikTok star with over 300,000 followers as of the making of this video. Nova was relatively unknown until about a year ago he posted a Wingstop review that went absolutely viral.
Trying Wingstop for the first time. Cajun seasoned fries. Okay. Mildly spicy, but nothing that I can't bear. These are actually pretty decent. 8 out of 10. Mango habanero wings.
This review.
Oh, wow. Okay, these are very, very spicy. Oh, wow. They're very spicy, but they're still pretty good. 7 out of 10.
Nova's really unhinged.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Lemon pepper wings. Lemon pepper wings are absolutely stunning. They're amazing. 9 out of 10.
Stunning.
Garlic parmesan tenders.
I have a feeling that Nova's never eaten like really high quality food. Like, I don't foresee them dropping, you know, a couple $100 on a dinner that's very chef prepared. Like, I've not even gone to the highest ends of that stuff. Yeah, the 10 out of 10 for Dr. Pepper. That's the only thing that's ever scored a 10 out of 10. Spoiler.
Really good. 8 out of 10.
After the Wingstop review, Nova Online would follow up with numerous other TikToks reviewing various other fast food products, and it would quickly become his main form of content he liked to produce, finding great success on the platform, having accumulated over 300,000 subscribers, as well as his fair share of detractors and trolls. And the accumulation of these trolls was aided in no small part by the fact that Nova would put so much personal information on the internet, even doxing his church during a monster.
Again, you know, like, these people, main character syndrome, inadvertently, whether they're not aware or not, doxing themselves and putting things out there for them to then use against them. Like, it's just, watch, we're going to hit on all the same points that we literally just watched with White Bowser. Just this
energy drink review.
A totally different person. Just watch for the similarities here.
Trying Ultra Sunrise Monster Energy, and if you're wondering why I'm not at home, I'm at my church for Bible Camp. We're just waiting to board a bus to go to Cusick. So, we're trying Ultra Sunrise Monster Energy in the morning before we go. It's 7:46 a.m. First impressions.
If you want to point out at what not to do, don't point out where you live and all that stuff if you're going to throw things out there. At least not if you're going to be uncomfortable with the potential of somebody finding you and then having haters and whatever and people doing stupid shit.
It's like orange juice. Alright, cheers. And that's kind of what it tastes like. Like, this tastes like orange juice with a hint of tangerines. It's actually pretty good. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, just because it's not as good as Ultra Blue.
Another thing that attracted the trolls was Nova Online's almost seemingly terminal Discord usage, spending multiple hours a day in voice
the Discord
chats and in text channels talking to supposed fans, where he would very often disclose embarrassing and personal information about himself. Trolls would also raid the place constantly, much to the dismay of Nova.
The Nova haters have just struck on a full-on cyber war against the Nova Stars. I will not stand for this. Nova Stars, do everything you can. We have
Here's that main character syndrome.
the power of Usada Pokora and God on our side. Stay strong. This is a message to Genji Gavin from the Discord. I banned you from the Discord. Contradicting me around like you're my own mother and acting like you're a god in my DMs is not cool. You are being blasphemous. The only one God is Jesus up above. Thank you.
Just there's that unhinged stuff.
Hey all, it's Kadri. I just wanted to let you know that our Discord is back open after we purged every single account because we had to get rid of all
I've never seen a truer shirt on an individual, by the way.
the trolls, and we didn't know who their alts were, so yeah. We're back open now after much thorough maintenance, and I hope to see you all back in the server.
Despite numerous purges, getting rid of an entire server audience altogether one time, Nova could not seem to escape the trolls on his Discord. More stealthy than they were previously, the trolls began to gather any speck of personal or embarrassing information on Nova, and they would find some pretty
Deep Fried Intelligence, how you doing? I'm doing all right. Just going through some LOLCow stuff. It's all interesting to me, and I think it's funny.
dark things that would change the public perception of Nova from being a cringy food reviewer to an infamous internet personality. And this is where it gets dark, folks. It was not only discovered that Nova Online was following many underage people with his TikTok, but he was also having conversations with them through Discord voice chats, where he would often indulge in one of his
I'm glad I could point that out.
favorite pastimes, age regression. Nova really enjoys talking with a baby voice and acting like a toddler, often saying how much he loves wearing a diaper. In my
Again, like, I don't care. I don't care if you're into these things. I think they're weird. So I'm just going to call them weird, but I'm not calling you weird. I don't care. But why are you throwing shit out there for everyone to see and then, like, acting like you're not going to get people that are going to judge? There's absolutely going to be people to judge this shit.
In my opinion, it's very weird, but compared to some of the other characters you see on this channel, it's relatively tame. That is, until you know the context of the video I'm about to show you, where Nova got on a video call with a 14-year-old girl and proceeded to be very, very creepy.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
You did so great.
Aww.
Not only would he do this, but he would also ask these children explicit questions and show them the diaper I talked about earlier, all to kids around the age of 14. And this is only a fraction of the hard Discord evidence against Nova. If you want to see the rest, there's a channel that I cannot recommend enough. His name is Underflow, and I really appreciate him screenshotting and archiving a lot of these Discord messages because they almost can't be found anywhere else.
This is where you get into people called A-loggers. I don't see A-loggers as the derogatory term. They're kind of almost like the documentarians in a way. They're a live documentarian of these individuals. And then you got people that are like Smokey and Kiwi, where they're kind of making more, they're taking that information, processing it, and then giving it out in content that people can understand why these people are bad, what they're doing, etc.
When Nova found out that all this information had been leaked to the public, he was extremely angry and decided to hold a TikTok live stream to explain himself.
Hating on small TikTokers is trying to be fun, but all you want to do is falsely accuse them of crap they never did. Y'all are being legitimate assholes. Have you ever seen an episode of Darman? You would know to not be an asshole to people you don't know nothing about.
I lost it the first time I heard about this Darman statement, and if you know what Darman is, he makes this for this absolutely massive creator. And when I say massive, I am not kidding. Massive, almost 20 million subscribers, right? And he makes this like content that has this underlying good message. I will give it to you that way. But for the money that this channel has got to be making, you think they could at least, invest in a better quality skits that they do, because these collaboration, or not collaboration ones, where it's kids getting bullied in school, family issues and drama, like this kind of stuff. Oh my God, were these awful. And they're not necessarily that old. Like, here's a year ago, here's a year ago, here's a year ago, here's a year ago. They were still making this content. Rich people learn from poor people. Like, it's just this odd. It's a whole nother rabbit hole.
About. Don't judge people before you get to know them. Proof my ass is all photoshopped. It's been proven. You're in timeout for like 5 minutes. Then I'll turn back on speaking privileges. Maybe. Now you better effing behave. You guys need to get a job instead of wasting your fat asses on small TikTokers. Those are clearly effing photoshopped. And if I can, I'll get my effing lawyers into this. You guys have no effing father. This is you, and this hand is me. Ugh.
All of this information would cause
vague threats.
Nova to go viral once more. And for a couple weeks, he was the talk of the town. It was all anyone was discussing. And of course, this only caused trolling to intensify. And now that they had some evidence, they would use it against Nova in any way they could.
That literally sums up every Darman video right there. Darman videos are amazing. You won't believe what happened to this guy, and then it's like someone being unrealistically racist or whatever. The manager boss one I showed my wife because she had no idea. She laughed at how poor the acting was, and the video had like, oh God, several million views on it. But yeah, and then the plot twist is the victim always becomes the CEO of the company.
This would culminate in the church that Nova went to, who he had previously doxed, kicking him out as soon as the information was brought to them. Church was a place of refuge for Nova. He would participate in youth groups, Bible studies, all sorts of things. And now they wanted absolutely nothing to do with him. And when Nova had found out that he'd been excommunicated, he would go live on TikTok once more, far angrier than the previous time.
I'm at my breaking point. You're effing trolls who have nothing else better to do!
This is a re-moment, if you ever hear of a re-moment.
You guys have anything else better to do? Get the hell your fat asses and eat something else!
Nova, up until this point, had only fed the trolls, and reactions like this certainly weren't helping his case. His comments were constantly trashing him, big-time YouTubers were making videos over the situation, and he was becoming more and more hated by the day. Realizing this, Nova understood that if he was ever going to do anything on TikTok again without being harassed, he would have to take a break. And that's what he did. He didn't post for quite some time. People even thought that this was the end of the Nova Online story.
And by the way, there is an updated video, like I said, just a couple of weeks ago, that this individual left and came back.
But almost every time, it is not the case. These characters will always return to YouTube. They're addicted to the attention. They're addicted to the views. They love it too much. Nova was no different. He would return soon after the majority of the heat had died down, desperately attempting to recreate old success by doing his iconic Wingstop review 1 year after the first one had blown up so virally. And somehow, through no lack of effort, Nova managed to make this one cringier than...
Yeah, okay, so you saw the original one. We had the Dr. Pepper 10 out of 10. Lemon pepper wings were like an 8 out of 10. The honey habanero, I think, were like a 6 out of 10 or something like that. And then something else. The Cajun fries were like a 4 out of 10 or 6 out of 10. I can't remember.
Than the first.
1 year ago today, I posted a video that boosted my whole TikTok career. And 1 year later, we are revisiting that exact order that I placed 1 year ago today. This is trying Wingstop for the first time, recreated. First off, I just have to thank every single one of you who have watched my Wingstop video, because it was my main turning point in my TikTok career, and I appreciate it. Now it's Taste Test Everything in voiceover mode. Okay, so starting off with the Cajun seasoned fries. The Cajun seasoning wasn't dispersed all the way, so it was a little spicy. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Alright, I tried to showcase the wings. It did not go so well. But anyways, the lemon pepper had too much pepper for me. I will definitely give this one a 6 out of 10. Alright, and now we're moving on to the mango habanero wings. They were a little more spicier than I remember, so I will give them a 7 out of 10. And Dr. Pepper always slaps. 10 out of 10. Ain't Nova Kadri, starting off.
Something that you really need to indulge in if you're going to go and watch Nova's TikTok is the comments section, because I struggle to find one positive comment. Usually they just call him out on things, like if his hair is extra greasy, or if he's breathing into the microphone particularly loud that video. He deletes a lot of hate comments, so most of the time it's worded in just a way to where it's kind of a hidden insult against Nova, or at least something that could pass for a non-hate comment.
I'm sorry, but that one, if you didn't see it there, hold on, let me see if I can.
Microphone particularly loud that video. He deletes a lot of hate comments.
The top one. I'm sorry, but...
So most of the time, it's worded in just a way to where it's kind of a hidden insult against Nova, or at least something that could pass for a non-hate comment. Another thing I should point out is just how highly Nova regards this old video of his. Granted, it is the one that went viral. It was not him reviewing Wingstop that made the video so hilarious, it was the insanely cringy way that he did it. Of course, self-awareness is not one of Nova's strong suits. He thinks himself some kind of review brah, actually believing that the majority of the people there are here to see him and his brilliant reviews of very common fast food items. The reality is, much like review brah, people are there to see him. But unlike review brah, it's not in a positive light. Nova doesn't care. Of course, he has his legion of Discord buddy trolls that are gonna yes-man him to death. Anyone with a trollsome bone in their body can see that this man is a prime target, and I think there's quite a few people currently playing the long game with him. People behind the scenes convincing Nova to do increasingly more cringe activities. Like this video, one of Nova's most recent, where he chugs an entire can of Mountain Dew by shotgunning it like a beer.
Alright, I'm gonna try to start a new series where I...
You got a deleted comment, Jim. That's awesome.
Shotgun a bunch of different sodas today.
Hey, where is badge of honor?
Got Baja Blast's younger but not as cool brother, Caribbean Splash. Gotta use the keys.
I don't understand this.
Alright.
This person's like speed running freaking diabetes.
7 out of 10.
In all my time watching Nova food reviews, I've only seen one product get the 10 out of 10 perfect score, and that's Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is the golden standard from...
Is that what you left? Hair is so greasy you could use it to cook those fries you're reviewing.
which Nova bases this whole rating system around. The only thing that's come even close was the lemon pepper wings. The first time, not the second time. The second time they had too much pepper, they lost a whole point because of it. But the OG lemon pepper wings had an 8 out of 10 score. That's truly almost unheard of in the Nova food review game. But Nova's return does not just consist of him doing food reviews. It also has him beefing with people.
This was interesting. This was something that I learned through this video. That okay, so going back, and I'm probably gonna go back and eventually cover it because I feel like I did a shit job because it was like my second stream covering Tofiachu, and there's also some other additional videos that came out. But yeah, this is LOLCow and LOLCow violence.
People. One name in particular might be familiar to you, Tofiachu. A woman from who what I hear is horribly racist, has been fired from multiple jobs due to hygiene issues, and has also met Mick Foley. I also know that my buddy Smokey MCC is putting together a video on her. Go check out his channel. He'll have that video out soon, if not already. But Nova has been calling out Tofiachu for being homeless, for being smelly, and of course
Mind you, wore a shirt that said "I stink."
Ichu has been calling out Nova for being a pedo. This back and forth has been going on for a while. All the comments ship it. They think Tofiachu and Nova are meant to be. Meanwhile, Nova is putting out videos like this one.
Hey, Sophia. Oh, wait. Let me change my attire real quick. It isn't fitting for the video. But hey. No, we're properly dressed. Hey, Tofia, I got your video game here that costs $29.99 a copy. I bet you don't even have that much in your bank account.
This is so cringe.
But hey. No, we're properly dressed. Hey, Tofia, I got your video game here that costs $29.99 a copy. I bet you don't even have that much in your bank account from all the DoorDash that you order. Even I DoorDash less than half as much as you. And I mean, that's just pathetic. You can't even cook. I have a real job. You don't. All you do is sit on your fat ass all day on TikTok Live and defame me and MG and all that shit. And because of that, here's your stupid $30 video game.
Take that!
I feel like this is only the beginning of the Tofiachu beef, as she's had plenty to say about him, and he's had plenty to say about her. Other than that, it's been relatively quiet on the Nova drama front. It seems like his return has gone off decently, the chats are still full of trolls, I'm sure the Discord is still full of trolls, but it seems like he's still making videos every day. You can rest assured that if anything happens, I'll keep an eye on the situation, and I'll let you guys know. Thank you so much for watching today, especially till the end. I really appreciate that. Big shout out to all my channel members. Much love to you guys. Thank you for all the support as always. And a quick shameless plug. Me and my fellow YouTuber Smokey MCC have a podcast that we host every Wednesday at 6:30 Eastern Time. It's called Too High for Stupid. And what we do is we go over current news, over the crazy characters that we cover on both of our channels. Once again, thank you so much for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Have a wonderful night, and be sure.
It's like some 8 Mile style. I burn myself to burn you harder. Mom spaghetti type stuff. Yes. Yes, Jim. Oh man. But no, so that kind of covers a good overview of our LOLCow hunters. Hopefully I did their content justice. I really, really cannot stress enough. Please go support these guys. Smokey, the Smokey Archives, Kiwi Archives. There's so many different storylines and rabbit holes for you guys to go down. I enjoy the content thoroughly. I hope they're able to continue doing what they're doing. Like I said, there's several other LOLCows out there that you can go and find. As you can see, I've been kind of searching for some different things here. Too High for Stupid. I think they did do, like I said, yeah, this one. I suggest going and watching. It's hilarious. They did kind of an awards show, similar to, Now Recording has the Spurgies, which is going to be this weekend on Sunday at 8:30, I think. It's Sunday. I don't know. Go find out on Now Recording. They'll have a video up. There's a pre-show on Clear as Mud podcast, and there's a post-show on Nerdy John's stream, I think. Or K-Huck. I can't remember who got it. But they did this award show, and it's actually kind of cool because if you watch it, Jack Scalafani. Is that a funny look? I'll have to check that one out. But anyway, from what I understand, this is the first time that Kiwi and Smokey actually met for this. Yeah, I wanted to really cover these guys. I wanted to get their names out there, especially promote their channels. They're doing the goods work for great work for the community as far as keeping stuff documented and centric. So like I can do my spiral deep dives and decide whether I want to cover something or not. You as a viewer, there are so many fantastic rabbit holes with these guys to go down. And you know what? I'm not saying just stick to their content. They have multiple videos and different links and stuff for you to go into and just enjoy, I guess. That would actually be a fun stream, I think. Having a Cooking with Jack reaction stream is the most interesting cooking. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a good idea. Good lord. I mean, there's always what would be really funny is if someone did a Boglum tries it. Okay, so explain what I'm kind of talking about here in case anybody watches this and they're unfamiliar. King Cobra JFS, the individual you see on screen in both the thumbnail down here and then right here, he has kind of like this cult following called Boglum. His cooking and drinks are very, 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 very interesting. I would love to see sometime, and I know that Drunken Peasants, I believe, has done it, where they've literally mixed up some of the same concoctions that King Cobra's mixed up and tried them, and every single time I think they've been god awful. His cooking consists of crushed Doritos a lot, if that clues you in on the level of quality of content to expect there. I'll give you a little, TLDR, trigger warning, whatever the hell you want to call it. If you go into anything that involves Daniel Larson or Cyrix, you're going to get into some dark stuff. Same thing with Chris Chan. Chris Chan, I would recommend Gino. You want to talk about a guy doing God's work. Gino has been a Christorian from the very beginning. As you can see here, there's a comprehensive video. It's a multi-part series. Oh, God. Videos. This is... Gino's just a Christorian. So you want to talk about somebody that covers literally one LOLCow? This started 4 years ago. 4 years this guy's been creating videos. And they're not small videos. Like, if you look at it, they're all roughly 45-minute videos. Just covering just this one LOLCow. I love Cobra's one video where he's cooking those fries. He has grease fire. He's standing there, monotone fire. Stop. Oh my god, I could totally see that. Oh shit, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could give you guys for good ones to go down. Drunken Peasants. I don't know why they're kind of like shadow blocked, in my opinion. You gotta like actually type their full name in. So if you're looking for it, Drunken Peasants. They've had a lot of content creators on, but they have segments in each show where they cover different LOLCows and stuff. Like they go over the manatee. The manatee's a really strange and deranged individual. Good lord, there's so much stuff that they cover that's just so interesting to watch. And then the last person I'm gonna plug here, I'm actually gonna go over his video at some point. So it's Stonic here. Stonic has actually put out a fantastic documentary and gave me so much information. I mean, so much freaking information. He really put in some hard work on this stuff. On Only Use Me Blade. So he created this multi-part documentary. So it's roughly 3.5, 4 hours. It's a lot of content to digest, but so worth it because in part 2, he actually got an interview with Only Use Me Blade. This young Australian kid, I believe. I don't know if he's New Zealand or Australia. I believe Australia. He's actually gone out and contacted some of these IP streamers and gotten more information, but when we get into he does an update stream right here that's worth watching if you know any of the stuff going on with Only Use Me Blade. Oh god, I'm sorry, getting tired, that's why I need to start ending this. But yeah, I cannot recommend enough. I learned so much, and he had so many, even Only Use Me Blade and like Keemstar and a couple other things, because he did actually talk with Keemstar too. There's so many oh god, like he's got footage and documentation going back to Only Use Me Blade and Keemstar, back when Keemstar was nothing, well before he ever did anything of huge note. Let's see. The King French fries incident. Anyone who's watching it, it's 2 minutes. Strictly hilarity. Let's just watch that. We'll end on that. That's a good one to end on. So there's about a 2-minute video. That's got to be this one.
I gotta clean my stove.
So this is King Cobra JFS. If anybody's never seen King Cobra, highly suggest go support the dude.
God damn it. I'm sick of dropping shit.
Okay, there is one other video that that I do want to point out, that there's a hilarious thing. Again, when King Cobra gets in his binges, oh shit, he could be very, very, very funny. There's a whole cigarette one that's hilarious too.
You know, but it'll get cooked off in the fryer, so. Alright, you got all your french fries. And as you
I believe, if I remember right, he uses like strictly recycled bacon grease for frying.
can see, that's bubbling.
Oh
So what
god.
we're gonna do is just,
Oh god, the fries are frozen.
I
Oh
would
buddy.
just dump these in here, but I don't want the grease to splatter, so. Your next step is just,
Jesus, buddy. It does. It looks like raw crude oil.
fuck it.
Oh god, buddy. Oh, the water content. You don't understand. Oh no! Oh my god.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
Stop.
Stop. Crisis
Fuck
averted.
my life, YouTube. I need salt.
Damn it, tubes.
Well, you know, that was real fucking smooth of me, too.
Like I said, self-aware, fantastic. Oh my god, now we gotta watch the other one. See if I can find it. This one. He was pretty heavily intoxicated here.
God damn it! Broke my fucking cigarette. Fuck!
This social media doesn't give a shit.
Fucking social media doesn't give a shit!
Thank you.
It's the fucking truth, dude. Social media doesn't give a shit. It's just like, oh, hey, you know.
I think he starts screaming at the lighter
Fuck
too.
you!
Yep.
Fuck you! Fucking touching me, you piece of shit. Fuck you! And fuck this.
My god.
course, my drink has to spill. I lose my fucking temper over these stupid fucking assholes.
Oh my god. There's so many great things like this to go watch. Oh man. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end for the night. This was a good point to end on. Oh, thank you, Cobra. You are the best. Oh, there is, before I forget, speaking of Cobra, there is a full King Cobra documentary. Directed by, I think that, yeah, this one. So I obviously I don't want to give stuff away, but there's this one that's a full-length documentary. I thought there was a more recent one. Good lord. King Cobra. I don't want snakes. Oh, Empire Observed. This one right here. This is actually a recent documentary, and it was more of a fan film. As you can see, the comments are actually like not bad. Anyway, he's still making his own mead now. Oh god. Oh god, there's a Deadpool on when he's gonna give himself botulism. Oh no. But yeah, go check this out. I watched it a while back, like when it premiered. This was actually pretty good and well put together, in my opinion. There's a lot of funny King Cobra moments, but it kind of gives you great synopsis, and it's a recent snapshot. Like I said, the other one was way older. Like there's so much lore with Josh and Hat and everything. Oh my god, there's so many things. But please go check out these creators, support their content. If you enjoyed what I did, if you want to leave a like, subscribe, comments, I appreciate all of it. Honestly, I do. I'm surprised to see the growth that I have from when I started this, and I appreciate it. I don't mind sitting here talking to myself, like I said, but it's fantastic when I got people like Jim and Gang Illuminati in the chat talking, and you know what, it helps pass the time, and I get to maybe help, put a little more information out there for everyone. We're gonna close that out. We'll start ending here. I'm gonna try and stick to this schedule of doing, my 9:30s on Fridays. It allows me a good buffer. I work throughout the week, but when Friday's on, I can run as long as I need, and I still feel like I get my weekend out of it. But you guys have a great day, great night, great morning, wherever you are. I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate having you all come out. Let's see. Bite-sized Cobra Vids has been doing kind of like a... Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are a couple A-loggers of King Cobra, like the Bite-sized Cobra Vids, where they've been doing kind of a history. That's another great content creator to go check out. Jim, I cannot express how much I appreciate you coming into the chat and talking. It really does help move things along, and kind of... I genuinely appreciate it. So I hope you have a great night. Great day wherever you are, and I will catch you next Friday. Actually, wait a minute, let's see here. Next Friday, I am going to be taking next Friday off. The reason being is on the 17th I will be doing a midday stream with Demon Queen. I cannot think of her name. Oh my god, I'm totally blank. It's too late at night for me right now. Horror and Hellfire? Oh lord. Thank God you guys cannot see me misspelling this badly. Let's see. I want to make sure I get her content. Let's do... Oh, come on. Apologize, but I want to plug so you all know. Man, I follow way too many people. Fantastic for me learning things, but a nightmare when I'm trying to like quickly plug someone. Oh my god. No way it's been this long. There we are. And let me share this really quick. So this is the this is what I'll be on. Nope, cancel. I'm on the wrong thing. Here we are. So here's Horror and Hellfire's page. I will be on Sunday the 17th. I think we're doing a mid-afternoon stream. We're going to be going over some like Krampus and horror stuff and all that. Kind of get off a little more tangential to the stuff I've been covering. But please come over if you want. Look forward to seeing anybody that comes out for that. Yeah, I guess that's really it. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you for coming out again, Jim and everyone. And catch you on the next one.